When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
If a generalized black woman is doing this and being this, that is that is irresponsible.
No,
when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind
showing
back.
me,
black and proud. Claim you're Africanist, black
because
and proud.
I think that if
when you claim you're
as a
Africanist, you're going to
person
get your
who
mind
has
back.
a page,
What is the status of people
Claim
who
you're
have
Africanist, black and proud. I'm
FBA?
telling you. When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
That's why I was laughing because I am
claim you're Africanist, black
I'm not
and
saying the
proud.
framework doesn't do a thing, but
Become a part of it.
We've been
Embrace it.
To black men
Become a
being the
part of it.
masters, being
Embrace
in the
it.
control. We
Become a part of it.
Only
Embrace it.
That those to me one of the
Become a
best
part
stories I've
of
ever heard.
Embrace it. When you claim you're
have
Africanist, you're
mastered
going to get your mind
that
back.
mental growth takes
Black
place.
and
You've
proud.
been
Claim
misled
you're
by
Africanist,
leadership,
black
for
and
instance,
proud.
that
I'm
think
telling
you
you.
can consume.
When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and proud. Claim you're Africanist, black and proud. I'm telling you.
Peace and power, family. Dr. Daw is back in the building, family. Yeah, I must say it's been quite a week. As you come in, make sure you like the video, you thumb up the video, and you do all the things. There's another Shabazz and Daw breakdown, y'all. I'm gonna try to jump into it relatively quickly, but make sure you, as you come in, you like, you share this with your chat, share this with your family, share it on your social media platforms, because we're gonna have a real good discussion today, and we appreciate you all joining us already in the chat room and all those different type of things. Let me see if there's anybody in the chat room. Make sure you come in and you tell it, holler at us, you know what I mean? And so today's discussion is entitled Godfrey, FBA's Oshay Duke Jackson, and Corporate FBAism. Now that's the title I have in YouTube, but I think I have another title that I can't find right now that really speaks to whether or not Oshay Duke Jackson is what I call, I mean, we're going to talk about it. I don't know what Cuz has, but we'll talk about it. What I've kind of coined as Pan-African fence riders. You know what I mean? I don't look. I kind of want to talk, but I'm gonna. Well, let me just say this. I'm not even sure that everybody even makes that category, but we can talk about that. But again, like the video up, share the video, and sit back, relax, and enjoy us today. I'm going to kind of jump into this expeditiously, and all the type of things. So, peace, Cuz. What it is. How you doing?
What's going on? Peace, cuz I'm chilling. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess you can talk to the people, whatever you got right now, or what have you.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not a fan of Oshay Jackson. I think Fence Rider is a good I would just call him a straight up fake person, but Fence Rider is good. I think he definitely he tries to act like he's a Pan-Africanist because he's on the continent and because he's doing business on the continent.
Hold on. You talking about Fence Rider, but you coming straight out the gate. Keep going.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's I don't think it's a fence rider. It's better to say he's a fence rider. It's you're more open-minded, you know what I'm saying, to say
no. I actually agree with you, honestly.
I've seen too many of his videos where he's just like he's a dog and pony show for Tariq Nasheed and for the FBA zeitgeist, and he's always he does. I will say this though, he knows how to measure his presentation so he sounds like he's being balanced.
He me sounds like Boyce Watkins. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you know Dr. Boyce, but Dr. Boyce he can put it on you, make you feel like he's really he's coming from a place of heart, and that he has feelings and all that type of thing. And family, he try to hit on those, emotional heartstrings. You know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead.
Mhm.
So I mean, I agree with you, but I agree with you. You know what I mean? Look, I typically try to give some people some suspense, but we talked about fence riders. But I'm saying straight up, we might as well keep it going with the chain link fence and come straight out the gate with proper perspective. Go ahead, proper.
Well, like I said, and that, yeah, the way you do it is it's a little bit better.
I
But
don't know about that.
he just, like I said, from what I've seen of him, I'm familiar with Dr. Boyce Watkins. He always struck me. I just got the instamatic vibe of somebody. I was like, okay, I'm going the other way. So I can't really speak on him too much. But with Oshay, I sort of, the first couple of videos that I found of his, I was interested, and as I delve into him, I was just like, well, hold up, I disagree. Well, hold up, I disagree. Well, hold up. By the time I finished the video, I was like, well, man, this is not nah, yeah, fence rider. He's playing it. He's doing most of what he, like, even in this video where a lot of the stuff that he is trying to convince us that Godfrey is guilty of, he kind of shows his own hand that he's guilty of it. And so, and he's taking issue, like, once you play the video, you'll see.
I'm just saying, I think the man got a wedgie going on, bro. I'm just gonna be honest with you. He's been on the fence so long. I mean, like, for real, he's on a fake fence. FAKE fence. I think he has a wedgie. You know what I mean? And I haven't looked at much of what's going on with Godfrey, but I've seen a number of Oshay Duke Jackson's videos. Somebody actually told me that I was in one of them. I didn't see it, but it might have been one of those, images when I don't know. I'm assuming it might have been a silent piece or something, where you just show images of people. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, I've been watching them too, yeah.
Word.
Yeah. So let me say this. So what's been going on your what you've been up to before we get into the analysis? And I do want, like, for those who are on this channel to go over to Cuz's channel and vice versa. But yeah, let the people know what you've been working on lately before we jump into this dialogue per se.
Okay. Well, I've watch me draw a blank. Let me see if I can pull this thing up. So some of the past few topics that I have covered, I did cover an FBA rebuttal video on the water god, and now I'm forgetting what he was talking about. So forgive me on that. But I have I covered what I call the double standards with FIFA. And there's a brother online, I saw him on TikTok, who's trying to tell everybody to go out and buy Manning Marable's book, A Life of Reinvention, about Malcolm X. And so I covered that because like, it's a terrible book.
Dr. Jared Ball will kill somebody if you heard him say
right,
that.
But like the pro-black intellectuals got a hold of that book and was like, "Nah, we're not gonna let this stand." So they put out their own book to set the record straight. And I was just like, I would rather people, if you're gonna promote Manning Marable, you should at least promote the fact that a lot of people said Manning Marable's book was not worth reading. And this brother was promoting it like this is the gold standard of what you need to know and understand about Malcolm X. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna knock that out. So that I covered the Haitian stuff with Megyn Kelly and her outrageous, clearly African, clearly hating everybody perspective. I've done several videos on just FBA and ADOS lies.
I saw you do one on the real Dana that I thought was pretty cool. I saw a video today, right? And it sounds like, to me, in some ways, it sounds like the real Dana has she's out of her mind at times, most of the time. But she seems to be a lot more, like about 75% more rational when Judge Joe Brown isn't around. She seems to be a bit more rational when Judge Joe Brown is not in her ear. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with her holistically. I'm just saying I saw a video today I really want to break down. I mean, I can't remember what it was about either, quite like you. But she definitely, you know, sometimes, you know, as they say, one of the things that Dr. Myatt said she was going to start doing was this hashtag pass the mic. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, you know, we might look. I can take that from my dear sister. Hashtag pass the mic. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, I mean, so what else? What else is going on?
So, but I mean, that's kind of like the gist of it. I did do a breakdown on one of Dana's videos, and I think I got another one coming. But yeah, like the video, I think the video that I did was covering well, the one I'm working on is covering some of the stuff around birthright citizenship. So I think I touched on that a little bit in the last one, but then I got like a more solid one because I'm centering I'm trying to center Ketanji Brown Jackson's written opinion versus Clarence Thomas's written opinion in that birthright citizenship case that is linked to the whole, you know, what's going to happen with the Haitians and the Syrians. So, and I will say that that particular video by Dana's, no. That one I don't like almost anything she's saying. But there is another video where she is kind of sort of taking issue with Tariq Nasheed. I think I covered that one. And that one was I was surprised that she was a little bit more poignant, or rather that I was in so much more agreement with her. And she was making a lot of good points. And actually that is it. That's the Water God video that I did. Because Water God TV was he said we as FBA is gonna cancel Dana because Dana said something about or against the leader, you know, the leader who's not the leader, Tariq Nasheed. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, I was listening to his video, and Dana was losing her mind today, bro. That look, she was like, I don't know who she was playing. She was playing somebody off The View, and what she said was that this person off The View, I guess she's an attorney. I don't look at pop culture media much, but I guess she's an attorney, and Dana was going in on some people I think that that justly deserves to be going in on, especially. I do have an issue with what people call, I don't know if you do as much as I do, but a lot of the Democratic shillism. But I think there's some fair critique around them. I think you would probably have some fair critique as well. But what Dana was saying today was when the sister was responding, saying that when she goes in her neighborhood or when she sees neighborhoods that have all these American flags, that it does something to her viscerally. Dana's like acting like, I don't know, like she can't understand that. And I'm like, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know, it could be a New York thing, or she could, I don't know if she's in New York. She just sounds like she's from New York. But what I do know is in Baltimore, if you see a American flag in the hood, it just looks so much different than when you go out in the suburbs or white neighborhoods that got the American flag. When you see that American flag, it's like, to you, that is for me at least, you don't see a lot of Confederate flags. You're not going to see that in the Baltimore area. You might go off into a few little, you got to go some layers, but you're not going to see Confederate flags like that. But you will see American flags. And to me, those American flags feel very much so similar in a different way, like that that Confederate flag to me. And she couldn't like grip with that. I mean, I'm not sure if you experienced that in Virginia, because I know in Virginia I was driving down. No, it's like further down, you know, where I'm about to be at next week, and it's this big Confederate flag. I mean, it is humongous. I'm not even afraid of it because it's so, you know, but it doesn't make me feel a certain way. I'm just so surprised that the state has this big. Have you seen that flag?
I have seen that flag. I see it
360, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it is. And And it's not the only one that I've seen in Virginia. So I've seen, I've seen it in the area you talk about. I've seen it traveling north throughout Virginia. I've seen it going even further south toward North Carolina. So for me, I see it all up and down the 95, the I-95, no matter which direction I'm going in Virginia.
Really?
Yeah. And the neighborhood, you know, I've I've been in I've lived, you know, I've lived in several different neighborhoods. I move around a little bit, but I've been in neighborhoods where both were there. I've been in neighborhoods where just the American flag itself was was the one being mounted on the houses and mailboxes and cars and stuff like that. I ain't never really felt that comfortable about it. No, I really like. I've lived in neighborhoods that were like somewhat predominantly, or not predominantly, but either 50-50. I've lived in neighborhoods that's predominantly white, and I've lived in neighborhoods that's maybe 60-40 black. Even in all throughout all of those neighborhoods, when I see the American flag, it's almost always not black people flying them. It's almost always some white folk, and it's almost always some interesting white folk. I'll just you know, I'll put it like that. So that's just you know, that's me. I don't have no good feelings about the American flag anyway. And I've seen quite a few, like I've had the trucks pass me ever since I was a teenager. I've had trucks passing me with the Confederate flag,
with the yada mean, huh?
And I'm like, yeah, I'm just nah.
You know, I remember though, because you know, I love Virginia, right? I got family relations down there. But I remember my father telling my uncle down in the country part of Virginia, you know, and you know, like Victoria, that he had on the Confederate flag on his hat, and my uncle's black, right? But he's a trucker, and it was just like it was so crazy. Like he was like, it was nothing to him to even he did. My father, you know, he missed the dashiki back in the 80s. That's a whole different thing. He coming down to Virginia in the 80s with dashikis on. My uncle wearing a hat with a Confederate flag on it as a truck driver chewing tobacco. Like it's like a whole different world.
Yeah, that's another world for me too. I would have had a mental flip.
Now I was young. I didn't know what it kind of meant. You know what I mean? But you know, down there, which is probably about 45 hours away from Richmond, I would imagine. Yeah. I mean, I can see how he didn't have a problem with that, because it's also part of that. But I could see how they like this part of the culture. Like it was so crazy, you know. I don't even know if I doubt that he knew what was. I don't know. I don't think he knew what was going on. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I can't.
That's like some people say in Maryland, like Maryland's flag is like one of the most popular flags. But then there's some people that if you look at the symbology in it, it has aspects of the Confederate flag. And I'm not so sure about it, but I do know that there's been conversation around it. And it is one of the most popular flags. They like it's kind of like you see like people from the Caribbean. The Maryland flag is like that to Marylanders. Like they really like I think there's research to support that it is one of the most popular flags in the United States, where the people actually utilize it, wear it, drape themselves in it. It's in the Ravens logo. It's like it's everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Damn, that's wild. Yeah. Now I can't speak on that. Like I don't know how Virginians feel about the Virginia flag. So I have no idea. I know we love some personalized license plates.
Oh yeah, now look, ain't nothing better than Big Dis and Sister T, and yeah, I mean look, yeah, that is very popular in Virginia, personalized license plates. But the flag in Maryland is very popular. I'm saying even among black people.
Oh damn!
I mean, you would like you'll get some sneakers with it. Like they literally have sneakers with it. You gotta remember Under Armour and different places are here in Baltimore. So they
Right.
have sneakers with the flag on it and everything. So I mean, and probably other like more other popular brands. Well, anyway,
Right.
anything before we
Right.
kind of get into Mr. Godfrey? I'll check into the chat real quick and see who in the building.
We got a couple trolls. No,
we
no,
got
but we got some interesting folks.
we got Mr. K in the house. Peace to that Pan-African Library. As I heard you give him a shout out the other day, cuz if you need a book, talk to Mr. K. You know what I mean?
True that.
Look, it's Mr. K's in the building. Reclaimer NYC. What it is that like your like we say your? I'll be trying to figure what the your means. Is it like a your?
Yeah, it must be.
Okay.
He said he got a question, but he didn't necessarily ask it though.
Okay, I see Mr. K. Market Dream Guy. What it is, man? What you been doing, man? Where you been hiding at? What you been up to, man? Like I haven't even seen you any of your videos pop up in a while. You giving Ron a break? Hold on, are you the one who destroyed Ron's channel? I think you may have destroyed.
Lord.
Black American Homeland. Okay, I was born in Tidewater, Virginia. Shoot first, Godfrey got. I just want to be down vibes. so look, okay, we're gonna talk about this for y'all. Look, we're gonna talk about this one. Peace and power to Shabaka. And Reclaimer. Nah, I don't want to ask if it takes away from the topic of the live. Nonetheless, family, if you know, me and Brother Proper, also known as Professor Shabazz, are going to kind of go in today on this topic. We're going to review a video and we're going to let it happen. But let's do this first. And I'm going to just let you know, properly introduce.
Shabazz, break it down with the proper perspective. So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection. And whose mouth is mumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz, break it down with the proper perspective.
So I don't even know if Mr. Shabazz have told y'all that that's him, you know, dropping the lyrics. You know what I mean? I used to be a fan of his, right? Him and my in the group. My cousin. I guess I can say my little big cousin, Jamal and me used to be in the car, you know, debating hip hop. He used to have Gully Jewels up in the deck. Actually, you know, Jamal is the one who turned me on to T.I. Before I even knew who T.I. Before T.I. was like it's crazy, like mainstream. He had been listening to T.I. for a long time. Yeah, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" But T.I. then after that, T.I. kind of blew up. But T.I. had been out a long time before we even knew about him. That was kind of crazy. So I'm going to say, if T.I. was out that long before we knew about him, Gully Jewels might absolutely, you know, have his space, because 2 Chainz was about 60 when he went pop. So look, you still got a chance there, cuz you still got a chance.
We'll see. Maybe one day, I don't know. I put that to the side for the most part. I appreciate it.
Hey, but you know, you know, nonetheless, you ain't gotta go pop on this commercial
hell no.
Culture to be impactful, profound, and yeah, my dear cousin's profound. So let's get into a little bit of what we have planned to do today. There's a video, and let me just kind of escape it so I can it's entitled "Godfrey Shouldn't Have Said This About Black Americans." And cuz anytime you need me to, this is from Oshay Duke Jackson's channel. It has 32,000 views. Me and my cousin, it has I think we kind of came out the gate and said we don't even know if he is a Pan-African fence fence rider. You know, well, we'll talk about that. let's see how if we change our minds a little bit. In other words, we're saying that right now we don't even think he makes that cut.
Since I'm this tether, I won't speak up for any of you guys.
I think he's talking about the Kato.
How about that? How about I don't speak up for you anymore?
And this is in 1.25 speed, so just know that it's a little bit faster than typical, so that we can get through it.
The comedian Godfrey has a YouTube channel called In Godfrey We Trust Podcast. And once a week, he does a show, and it's simply called Godfrey is Live. And it is, in fact, a live show. And last week, Godfrey went sort of viral, or at least partitions of that episode went viral, when he was discussing some of the criticism of his new podcast, 154, with a guy by the name of Akbar. He had some frustrations about it.
We're just working it out. And the fact that we're actually having an effect, it's important, because I go, oh, you said this. I go, that's cool. I said, but man, we talked 2-3 hours of
and one
interview
slips through, and then
you go, one slips through. Oh, you said that, and it's like they're sitting there going, "What's he going to say?"
Godfrey says it's a 2 to 3 hour podcast that they're talking to another guest, and what people do, they nitpick certain scores of information just so they can call him names. And he's saying, like, listen, that's really not the point of 154, because
and CJ, he's a Black American who actually came up with the concept, along with Heather, who's a white lesbian. They came up with the concept of 154. So shut the fuck up. Like, a Black American had the wherewithal to go, why don't we create a show like that?
Now, 154 has been called anti-Black, especially with some of the guests on there like David Oyelowo. And he's saying, listen, the person who started the...
Because if you want me to stop at any moment, you can.
Okay. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
All right.
I'll tell you.
Podcast is CJ, a Black American. Then there's also Akbar. And then there's Heather, the white lesbian.
Huh?
Okay, I guess that does prove that 154 podcast is all about diversity.
Got him.
But this is what got him in trouble.
I'm not sitting there going, oh, I'm foundational Black American. I don't really give a... I just care
divide and
about...
conquer.
It's dumb. It's stupid. And it feels like when we talk about that, somebody's getting paid to do that, because I don't give a... I think we all look alike. I just want to make sure, I just believe in justice for Black people around the damn world.
Now, I'm foundational Black American, I don't really give a F. It's dumb. It's stupid. And to be honest, this is a corporate Pan-African response. Now, to be honest, I don't know if this is really what I would consider a diss, because Godfrey grew up studying some of the greats. Amos Wilson.
Notice he used this term, a corporate Pan-African response. Right. And I'm calling him a corporate FBAer. Practice corporate FBAism.
And I mean, Louis Farrakhan. If you look at some of the educational infrastructure of some of the, most well-known Black intellectuals, it's typically Pan-African centered to a point. Not all the time.
Let me tell you what he's really good at, cuz. He's really good at showing, like, and maybe Mr. K might have the proper word for it, or the proper tactic. But the reality, what he does really well is he'll paint this picture like he's down and he's trying to give you this positive part. It's kind of like when people, you get that letter at work or somebody that you're working with, and they tell you, oh, such a wonderful day. I really appreciate you. And you know that right before maybe the third line, it's going to bend and it's going to go south.
We regret to inform you.
We regret to inform you. Perfect. And that is what he does so well. And then people tend to believe this guy because he seems so innocent, and it's so crazy because I saw a video the other day, and even I was talking to my father about it, about the Essence Festival. And I know this is a bit off, but I'm just telling you, some of these FBA videos, and they're trying to clean up their brand a bit and be a little bit more, they're trying to act like and act calm and not say negative words as much, but they're very condescending, very like this type of stoic position or disposition. This guy Daniel that I showed you about, Like people literally believe him. He got Caribbeans and Africans, and sometimes I think he does what Tariq does. I think he gets fake callers to call in that he can like role play with and things like that. But you want me to go back to the clip or you got something?
Well, I was just gonna ask Daniel, is that like a really light skinned brother?
No, Daniel's the brother, if you remember, okay. I think you were here for at least some of it when I broke down his brother's video, and I said he looks African, but he's saying he's not African. He's the one who had the Unk chain on, it's like a gold chain, but he's saying he's FBA and all that type of thing.
Okay.
So Mr. K, of course, says social media propaganda. Mr. K, we thank you for the super chats. FBA propaganda, social media propaganda. He says, Mr. K said Oshay is gifted at social media propaganda.
Yeah.
Mr. Reclaimer NYC says, I put the Mr. on, we going with the Misters. He lucky he in Uganda, you know. And yeah, and as you said earlier, because what Oshay typically does is he plays on the fact that he's in Africa, and he know that hits that right there. It makes us not. It's like an intellectual conversation stopper for people who struggle with critical thinking. And what do I mean by that? Like they literally think just because he's in Africa that he's a real Pan-Africanist, and that somehow he's more Pan-Africanist than other people who really espouse the philosophy and the theory, and that makes him more Pan-African. And in fact, that he has more of this angle to see things that other people can't see and all this type of thing. And that's what our community has been doing so long. I've seen people, this other fraud named Polite that's now in prison. They used to have this fraud named Polite who was, he actually had a debate up there in New York with Sinetta and them. And they gave the debate to Polite, not because what he said theoretically, intellectually, or historically, or what have you. They gave him the debate because this guy showed a video of him on an airplane supposedly going to Africa. So what he did was he showed I think it was a video, a little short, brief video of him flying somewhere with the camera outside. Maybe it shows some African background. When maybe he was landing. I can't remember. But what I am saying is that was all it took for those in our community to believe that Polite had some special knowledge because he went on a tour to Egypt, because he went to perhaps West Africa. In fact, he said he went to Egypt, now that I remember, and he said these West African people that through his lineage came to Egypt and showed him all the Egyptian Kemetic tradition. This guy was making up all types of stuff. Like he was in special chambers because his connection with Nigeria or some crazy mess, man. I'm trying to tell you. I look like you got something there, cuz I saw you getting it ready, checking it twice.
Yeah, I was going. Well, I mean, it's hilarious that you brought that up because I remember seeing that, and it was. I saw that. It was a beautiful work of craftsmanship. And it reminded me of how Jay-Z did the Jumbotron thing with when he was beefing with I think Mobb Deep. And you know, once he flashed the little screen, the image of the brother from Mobb Deep, like in some type of I don't know if it was a classical class or a ballet class or something. It was something that was just like, this is just so not the manly thing or whatever it was. And it was like, well, that's it. It didn't even matter if the verse was dope. It didn't matter if his verse was better. It was, oh, I saw that picture. You're done. But that's a lot of the I started calling it baby brain thinking, microwave mentality, very surface. And so even like in the clip that you've already played, you know, to some extent, what he is doing, now I may not be able to say this word correctly, but there's this logical fallacy type of thing called captatio. What's that?
I think you're good now.
Okay, captatio benevolentiae. it's a Latin word meaning capturing goodwill. And that's one of the things that Oshay does. He likes to come across like, hey, I'm gonna be cool-headed, I'm gonna be level. See, I'm trying to give you, a real even-keeled analysis.
Right.
So it's capturing the goodwill before he throws a dagger into the middle of it or throws a grenade into the middle of it. And so he does that. His whole entire framing is trying to come off like I'm gonna give him credit for this, family. I'm gonna give him credit for that. But you see what we gotta understand. And so they also call it poisoning the well. And so that's pretty much that's very much what he does all throughout that video. He's poisoning the well, and he's playing. The other thing that he does, and this is something that FBAs do all the time. Like I said this the other day on my show. I said, there's like a ladder. There's a ladder of bullet points. And so FBA starts off and saying, this is about reparations. Now, if you have a substantive conversation with them and you can show and prove or embarrass them and make people realize they really ain't about reparations, then they jump down to, this is about delineation. Now you start talking to them about delineation and you show and prove that ain't really what. Then they come down to, this is about we need a better name. We need a new name. And that's like their last, that's the last leg. And what he does is just try to keep promoting, I don't care if you disagree with me about reparations. I don't care if you disagree with me about whether or not we're going to delineate it. At least, we are foundational Black Americans. And see what Godfrey is doing is he's attacking all of us African Americans but see, you got to understand, we really foundational Black Americans. He's attacking us. And that's his framework. And I'm like, look, no, I'm not even sure that he's attacking foundational Black Americans, but he's definitely not attacking African Americans.
Absolutely. And I think you make a great point. And what I'm thinking about now, just like a simple word, like poisoning the well is one like that. Those logical fallacies and things of that nature that people do as a debate tactic. But also when I think about it, I think just merely what he is trying to come across as one who is objective about the subject. And when people act like they're objective about the subject, and I said act like they're objective about the subject, then it gives people more credence to believe the mythology. And in this case, the mythology is FBA.
Right.
And the mythology is that Godfrey, I got to look at it. I can't remember per se, but I'd assume that he was trying to, in a way, look at Godfrey through an objective lens by giving Godfrey some points. Well, family, you got to understand Godfrey is a comedian. But then it's this, like you said, then what do you say?
Throw the dagger. Throw the dagger. Drop the grenade.
You drop the grenade. And what did you say earlier? You said, like, when I said when you'll start a letter off and then they'll be like,
we regret to inform you.
We regret to inform you, yes, that we're firing your ASS.
Right.
They cut off, you are such a wonderful and valued asset. However, we regret to inform you that you are done, buddy. So so let me get back. You okay? You want me to push the play?
No, yeah, go ahead.
But it is there. So in this last 10 to 15 years, when you're seeing hashtag ADOS and you're hearing hashtag FBA, that does to a person like Godfrey sound like some level of division. I honestly believe that's probably what he thinks. And this is one of the problems with corporate Pan-Africanism, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But people did not sit well with this. And this brings us to what happened a few days ago, because a caller called in and said this.
Hey, listen, I just want to say that I'm proud of Godfrey for going off last show, because you've been kind of straddling in this whole FBA thing.
So this Haitian guy who was born in Haiti and moved to the United States when he was 4 applauds Godfrey for making that statement about FBA. And then
they're in the comment section bitching at everything. I feel like not all Black Americans, but a lot of them have become the offended by everything, ashamed of nothing crowd. You know what I mean?
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
The hashtag foundational Black Americans are always complaining, looking for things to complain about. And then there
a lot of them have become the offended by everything, ashamed of nothing crowd. You know what I mean?
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the fuck you think you is?
The hashtag Foundational Black Americans are always complaining, looking for things to complain about. And then there was this controversial mention.
People keep talking about Dave Anderson.
Who's Dave Anderson?
I don't know who it
Is that Professor Dave?
I guess they said I would like to see him debate Dave Anderson or Tariq Nasheed.
Who, me?
I guess they just typed it out. They didn't say
Half you.
So shout out to the brother, Dave Anderson. He's a tier 1 commentator. I've been following him for about a year now. He was brought up, and it seems that Godfrey did know him because he said Professor Dave, but he...
Let me fix this real quick because Oshay is just making videos as fast as he can. And he also made another video since then, you know, to kind of, and he's still calling this guy Professor Dave. See, he doesn't realize that Professor Dave is a very popular white social media scientific communicator. And so he's now going to begin to call this guy Dave Anderson, Professor Dave. I'm talking about Oshay. My assumption is Godfrey, when he said, who's that? Professor Dave? He's talking about Professor Dave, the white guy. And I also believe Godfrey was being a little humorous when he said that, because you got to keep in mind, he is a comedian and he typically do this comedic type of thing. But what I am saying is that Oshay is going on an entire narrative that this guy knows what's the guy named Dave Anderson because he called him Professor Dave, and he's going to assume the title for Dave Anderson as Professor Dave.
Acted like he did not know Dave Anderson. For those who don't know Dave Anderson, he's a businessman, but he's also an intellectual when it comes to Black issues, Black American history. I mean, like I said, I think the guy is way above me in many regards when it comes.
And he does that all the way. See, he does that false humility.
Yep.
Yeah, that self-deprecation. He does it, and people who typically do that, not I know some people are really serious when they do that, but people like my dear brother Boyce Watkins and this brother here, they remind me of a lot. And I'm not coming for Dr. Boyce. I'm just saying he does it. I'm just calling Dr. Boyce out. And when they do it, it's a way to help you feel like they're connected to you and they're bringing them and they're on your level, and that, you know, helps you see them in this innocent lens, this objective lens. They are so objective that they can really be critical of themselves, but really it's often used as a technology, is a tactic.
To these conversations. And even though Dave Anderson doesn't have like a big YouTube following, his offline footprint is larger than somebody like me. And so even
and what does that mean? His offline footprint is bigger than someone like me. I mean, I don't know what that means, but you know, and again, is that self-deprecation again, is that false humility. It's also building this guy up to do what? Tear Godfrey down.
Even though he may only have 30,000 followers, he's real big in real time, and that's why Godfrey knows Dave Anderson, even though he's acting like he does not know who.
So now he's conflating Dave Anderson again with Professor Dave.
Professor Dave is. Then when mentioned with Tariq Nasheed, would he debate him? I mean, he didn't curse at Professor Dave or Tariq Nasheed, but pretty much told whoever was saying it to F off. And the reality is, if the chat is moving on the YouTube live stream, he always says, well, I can't really read that. Well, then why did you take the opportunity to recognize those names? That's the problem that I have. On the show last week, he said that him and...
So did he turn that corner? He's in the corner, y'all. He's turned the corner, cuz. But go ahead, look like you got something.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple of things about this whole thing about corporate Pan-Africanism. It kind of irks me a little bit. So, you know, so Oshay is taking, you know, issue, offense, or whatever. One section in the video, Godfrey says, "I really don't give a," and he's in reference to the FBA stuff. And I mean, Godfrey says he believes in justice for all Black people. He says around the whole world or around the damn world, something like that. And Oshay says, see, family, this is a corporate Pan-African response. I'm like, I ain't gonna say you inventing terms but it feel like you inventing terms. But if corporate Pan-Africanism is an honest, technical word, okay, it's just news to me. I didn't know who Dave Anderson is either. So I'm like, but this whole notion that he's trying to push, corporate Pan-Africanism, as if solidarity is a bad thing, as if global solidarity is a bad thing. And so I'm like, he's trying to convict Godfrey, or he's trying to convict anybody that believes in Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, again, it's there's equivocation in it. And because here's the thing, I don't know of any Pan-Africanists. I don't know of any Pan-African teachers, writers, speakers, or whatever, builders, business owners, etc., that have made this suggestion that we need to suppress our struggle in America, however you define it, for the greater good of global Black unity. That's not Pan-Africanism. There's no Pan-Africanist that teaches that. And so I'm just like, again, he's creating a straw man, a red herring, and so on.
What was that again? What was that again? You said that no one who teaches Pan-Africanism is saying what again? I just want to make sure I'm following you.
There's no notion in the, I guess, in the school of thought of Pan-Africanism. Who is the writer, author, teacher, speaker? Who is the Pan-African person that has said that African Americans, in our pursuit for freedom, liberty, justice, equality, or what have you, has to take a back seat to any other group of Black people on the planet?
Yeah. I think, again, this is FBA in disguise. Oshay Duke Jackson is FBA in disguise.
I don't even think it's disguise.
No, what I mean is, no. The reason why I say disguise, well, I agree with you, but he calls himself a Pan-Africanist. The only reason why he's a Pan-Africanist, the only evidence he has is that because he says he is. Other than that, I don't hear anything that he espouses that is Pan-Africanist. I don't like. I mean, he talks very like he's passive aggressive, as somebody said earlier. He has people believing that he is Pan-Africanist, and because he said so. Just like people tell me all the time, I say, "Oh, I'm supposed to believe you because you said so." That's what I see. So he's FBA at the core, and when I mean FBA, he's acting like, and he's even utilizing that trick, cause that old trick, like FBA is this moniker that most African American people actually accept, and we know we don't. And and again, that's why I argue, don't put FBA, don't use it. It seems harmless. It seems like even if you're against Tariq Nasheed stuff, that you use FBA and it's harmless. No, it's not.
Right.
I'm talking about even us, because I have the urge at times to use the word, but I have to stay disciplined because I understand it is so catchy that we'll all just be calling ourselves FBA because it's easy, it's catchy, it's this, it's that. And man, I'm telling you, it's so many lies going on. Even with this, I'm going to backtrack just a little, because even this Essence Festival, I mean, I talked to some people recently who went there. They told me it was African American at the core.
Right.
They told me it was like, I said, how much African stuff was going on. No, they told me that you saw little hints of Africa, and you always see hints of Africa in Essence and Ebony and all these different type of things, and the festivals we got, and even the festival here in Baltimore called the AFRAM. I'm glad the mayor, I don't know if I agree with him, disagree with him, but I do like some of the things he do say, even if I don't agree with his politics. He says, look, AFRAM is a big, one of the biggest, and at one time was the biggest on the East Coast African American festival. And he's saying that this is paying homage to our Africanity. But I'm going to turn it back over to you. But Godfrey, Oshay Duke Jackson is no Pan-Africanist. Don't let him continue to keep lying to you, saying he's Pan. He's been doing it for years. And I've never seen it. He's damn sure not no African Senate Pan-Africanist, and he damn sure ain't no revolutionary Pan-Africanist. We must ask him, what is his strand of Pan-Africanism? What is it? He's like he comes across as a capitalist, so I damn sure don't think he's a revolutionary Pan-Africanist, and he doesn't have any type of cultural sensibilities from what I see.
No, you're right. Like I would sooner call him an expat. And I've had this kind of a conversation before because especially in FBA circles, because they'll be like, well, if you even the white folk be saying, if you hate America that much, why don't you just go to Africa? Even if I do, that doesn't make me Pan-African. That makes me an expat.
That's where they got it from.
Exactly.
That's where FBA
but that's what makes you, but that's what makes just like, so I'm like, if I move to Africa, in your baby brain, if I move to Africa, I'm a Pan-Africanist. No. If I move to Africa, I'm an expat. Plain and simple. There are people who move to Africa and they never even heard of Pan-Africanism. There are people that live in that move from America to Africa just because the job that they work at said, we got this place for you over there. You're going to go over there and set up shop. That's why they over there. It has nothing to do with Pan-Africanism. And so I'm like, again, the conflation is I keep going back to baby brains. It's like you just cannot come up off the first floor of the elevator. They conflate everything. And so again, this corporate Pan-Africanism. And I think later on, maybe I'll save this for later on, because he starts talking about the business deals, and it's all plain ass speculation. There's nothing in Godfrey's commentary that really talks about it. But he starts making this stuff about business deals being the motivation behind corporate Pan-Africanism.
And we all go ahead.
No, go.
No, I didn't have much to say. I was just saying, and it's clear that he is in Africa for business.
For business,
he might be in Africa for some ass. Excuse my language. He might, he's in Africa for a lot of different reasons, and some of it seems nefarious. So what I'm saying is, and I said seems, I mean, because something ain't right about dude. Something ain't right about dude, and he knows how to play that friendly looking, round cheek, chubby face guy. It makes you look friendly. A baby face person. You look friendly because you got glasses on, or you got a baby face. Like he look, I can see through the baby face. Nah. He's a fraud. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to put it there. He's just better than Umar. He's better than Tariq. I don't know what Tariq is. Tariq's pretty good. I don't know if Tariq's pretty good. Let me just, because he's an FBA, but he's better than Umar. This guy is kind of, I'm telling you, he reminds me so much of Dr. Boyce Watkins. He becomes the victim. Oh, I wanted to be Umar Johnson's friend. Dr. Boyce, I remember he kept saying that years ago. You wasn't worried about being no Umar Johnson a friend. But what you do well is you find every day. Look, just think about it. Oshay Duke Jackson thinks every day how he can continuously create content to put out there to keep his algorithm and keep these clicks, views, and dollars coming in so that he can do whatever the hell God knows what he's doing in the African continent.
Well, I ain't trying to cast aspersions, but he has, I can't say this with definitive fact. He has two primary, I guess, like show productions that he works on. One of them is a dating show, and the other one is like a not politics, but a social commentary type show. And I'm like, okay, so you started in the dating lane. So if you want to have some some spurious conversation about his incentives and his backgrounds, then you can start with the dating show. And I think he even called it the Pan-African dating show. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That's Pan-African for you. That's your concept of Pan-African dating.
I remember he went there, and this sister, I can't remember her name, DJ something, Genesis. and she started saying it's some fishy stuff going over there with Oshay and them, in the passport bros. I won't repeat them here, but I'm just saying I haven't done enough research to look into it. But I do remember when Oshay went across the seas, and those people that he was interviewing, the sisters off the streets, that people have made some level of some theory, some conceptualizations. I haven't looked at it enough, but what I do know is this guy, I don't know what's behind that face. I don't know what's behind the camera. I don't know what. All I know is my spidey senses tell me this guy's a fraud. And what do I mean by fraud? He ain't who he say he is. That's what a fraud is. He is not who he professes to be. And I'm saying it's clear that he's not a Pan-Africanist. That is a part, the least, that is at least he's not a Pan-Africanist, and he's fraudness with that.
Lord of Slaughter says he went to Europe first. Yeah, I think I did hear some stuff about, before he went to Uganda, he was in Poland, I believe. So
what kind of Pan-Africanist is really in the manosphere for real? I mean, again, he says he's the creator of the manosphere. He said he's one of the creators of the manosphere. He does all these weird things, and then he supposedly have a MD from another country. Like I haven't done enough research on him, but what I do know is a lot of bells are being rung. I think Tahaka Bay did some research on him though. But all I'm saying is this guy is a fraudster. He comes on here, he tell you he's a Pan-Africanist so that he can open you up to just break Pan-Africanism down. It's kind of
Philip Scott does the same thing, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah, a fraud. They tell you, it's like me. I should start a channel. If I do it, y'all don't get mad. Just know I'm faking like them. I'm gonna start a channel called FBA Den. I'm gonna use Den, it's not Ausar. FBA Den. And I'm gonna say I'm a FBA, y'all. And let me tell you about the FBAs. And then they can't say nothing. And then they just have to listen and shut up. But FBA is good enough to throw you out. But I'm or maybe I just, I'm gonna try it though. Let me go ahead and try it. I'm just messing with it. I couldn't even do that.
I might do it. I'll do it on my channel. I'm gonna set up a new channel, but I'll do it on my channel.
Somebody need to do it because that's called warfare. Because we like this FBA thing is worth tearing apart, not Pan-Africanism.
Exactly.
So you got something else you want me to persist?
Go ahead and play a little bit. I think I'll catch it on the next run.
Okay, cool.
Tariq Nasheed was very cool, and he likes Tariq. And because again, Tariq Nasheed at one point talked more or less about, the whole black world in comparison to his focus on, the Black Americans perspective these days. But then why did you bring that up? It seemed like that was intentional, and that in particular was catty.
The craziness about it is bringing it back up from what he said. Like, I lost it. But this idea that he's upset at Godfrey in a way because he's speaking negatively about FBA. And let's keep this in context. I don't even know much about Godfrey, but I do know this, that FBA people like to come for him, including some other fence riders that I've been around. And they typically come for him with all types of energy. And then what I also want to say is what Godfrey, what Oshay is doing is what I spoke to earlier. He's acting like he doesn't know that who Godfrey is talking about when he says FBA is the same FBA that me and my dear cousin is talking about. When Godfrey mentioned FBA, I know he ain't talking about me because I don't accept that BS. Right. Just like Godfrey know is a cult, is a little ragtag group. It's a bunch of people who have some people we got good people, But what I am saying is, it is just like any other religious cult. Good people in cults. People have been deluded. People have been misled. People have been misguided. Godfrey knows that FBA is a cult. He knows it's a small group of crazy people on the internet. Yes, we've lost our goddamn minds. And all of our scholars talk about it. It's people who have Afrophobia. They are in love with European values of white supremacy here in America. They say some of the most craziest things, and people be thinking that they so sharp. I was listening to this thing with Jim Jones, and I think what's the other guy? FBA, Fabulous, and
Fabulous.
other brother with I don't know, he was talking about his hairpiece, and they just start asking some of the most basic questions, right? And it's like, they say stupid. I'm sorry. Like people continue to say stupid stuff. Like the only people in America that says another ethnic marker before or nationality before the American is African American. What happened? Look, that's so foolish. I mean, Google could fix that for you. You know, you got all types of ethnic and national markers before American. You got Italian American. In fact, if I recall, we actually followed suit with others who were doing the same thing. Italian American, Japanese American, so on and so forth. Some of this stuff you got to kind of repeat it. You kind of got to repeat it because we fall for the okie doke, the tricks. We fall for these deluded, fake, false forms of information that FBA kicks around. I'm noticing FBA though, has changed a lot since we've been on the scene. I'll be honest with you. Some of that stuff and some of those videos that we debunked from way back, all the way from the census to other things, you don't hear them saying that stuff so much no more. I know it's going to circle back, huh?
No, you're right. You're right. The more pressure you apply to them, you know, they, like I said, it's the latter. You know what I'm saying? And the more pressure you apply to them, the more they start to walk away from some of those positions. But their everlasting thing is like, because they know if they lose everything else, then they know they can still walk away and say, well, we got the name change.
Yeah.
And for them, that's going to be the final beat your chest moment. Okay, screw reparations, screw delineation. At least we got y'all to call us by the right name. We are the special blacks that we always said we was. But you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna come back around.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. You're right. And I hear somebody put here, and I agree. Frank Zainu is definitely a fraud. I don't even know if he's a fraud or phony. I mean, he just out of his damn mind. I mean, he might be actually literally. I mean, I think Frank Zainu might be a real Uncle Tom. I mean, I don't know. He might be a fraud. He might be a fad. I don't know.
He certainly ain't a Pan-African.
No. So I don't know what kind of fraud he is because he's doing a good job of being an American. A Sambo.
I'm about to say KWON. I'm about to say KWON, but no, Sambo was good.
He's doing a good job of being subservient to his master. And this is, I don't even look. He thinks that all Africans are backwards and deficient. Now, the one thing I can tell you about Frank Zainu that I agree with is that he know we're all related. You know, I mean, at least he does know that we're all from African descent. But he talks about all Africans, all black people. He's out of his mind. He doesn't even believe that Africans have ever created a thing. And he did a video the other day. I wanted to look at it, but he because he was saying who really built America. I couldn't get to the conclusion. He was just a little too slow for me, and I might have to get to it. I don't know if you saw it, cuz, or anybody saw it. I don't know what his conclusion was. My thought is he's trying to debunk that African Americans built America, and that's a whole nother conversation. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. Like, I think people who really who can think, we can kind of have some nuance. Yes, Black Americans have a lot to do with the foundation of this country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying if you're talking about physical labor, all day, even intellectual labor, all day. You know, we can't say the white folks and even the natives that were here don't have nothing to do with it. But you can say what you want to say, is just not real. And then to say that immigrant blacks don't have nothing to do with it, I get what you're saying, but America didn't stop when we were enslaved or set free. America still goes on. America still to this day is currently running off of immigrants from everywhere. It is. I'm not saying that we aren't a part of that, Black Americans, but we cannot totally exclude the fact that immigrants, Black immigrants, and even immigrants from South America and different places also played their part. I'm not saying that they the foundation of this country, as y'all continuously say, but you can't deny that all these different people came together, and everybody does have their part. And immigrant blacks or other have had their part too. I mean, I get that you struggle with trauma, you struggle with fear, that you can't acknowledge that other people that look like you and don't look like you have also played a part and play a part today.
Mm-hmm.
It's like modern day slavery to some degree when you talk about some of these to the conditions that some of the South American brothers and sisters experience in these factories. And I mean, I'm not saying not stacking their paper up and buying businesses and starting businesses and doing things that you're like, well, they starting like, I don't know who video that was the other day I was looking at. And it was like, yeah, you know, because the Latinos, what they doing is they do come over here and work, but then they start a business and they got you working for them. Like, I mean, that's a different conversation. I don't even know what video I was looking at.
Well, let me say this too. I know I had planned on a conversation around that we built this country thing before. I'm not sure if I actually aired it or not, but I found it very interesting because a lot of the FBA folk was trying to push back against Mamdani and a couple of the other people, I think in New York, that were, you know, when they won their elections and they made those speeches and they were like, you know, as immigrants, we built this country. And, you know, the FBA crowd for sure lost their mind. But the thing that I wanted to say, I was like, okay, again, I try to say this a lot when I am on my own show. I say a lot of times something sounds right and it feels right. And so you start feeling it and jumping along, but you got to check yourself. And I'm like, and I remember when I heard Mamdani say it and whatnot, I had the same energy in my mind. I'm like, wait a minute, is that a slight? He's trying to take what's from us. And I was like, hold on. Now, bro, you know, you do research. That's what you look it up. I went to look it up and I'm like, you know something? We full of shit. FBA full of it. Immigrants did build this country. Just like this. And what I mean is the same way that we can make the statement and there is a documented historical fact that we have, like you said, a whole lot to do with building this country up. Immigrants can make that exact same statement all across the board. The Chinese were brought here in order to build the railroad. We were stuck on the plantation. We didn't build the railroad. You don't have manifest destiny.
Hold up. Because we got to correct that a little bit. Just a little bit. Because we got a common granddaddy who was a railroad man.
Oh, okay. Okay. But hold on. But was he on the train or was he on the tracks?
No, I think he was on the tracks.
Oh, okay. My bad then. My bad. I thought he was on the train.
Well, I could be wrong,
but
I can stand corrected, and
I stand corrected too. But what I'm saying is,
but I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
You know, it still was the Chinese. Their primary whatever you want to call it, introduction. You know, when they were starting to invite the Chinese over here, they wanted them to build those train tracks. So if the Chinese say, "Hey, I built this country," that's not inaccurate. You know, as much as everybody loves data centers, or maybe we hate them, but as much as everybody loves the internet and all of this, you know, Wi-Fi, this, that, and the other, and the computer in the digital age, a lot of this stuff is coming out of Silicon Valley. Ain't even a whole lot of white boys over there. You know, Silicon Valley is heavily populated with so-called immigrants or immigrant Americans. So if they stand up and say, well, you know, we built this country, that's an accurate statement.
You got me thinking, I'm working on the chain gang.
So yeah. I'm just like, again, what FBA does is they get so deep in their feelings, logic goes out the door, facts go out the door.
Hold up, brother. Hold up, cuz. I don't think logic entered the room. It can't go out the door, bro. It just wasn't there. Is anybody there? Is anybody there? Hold up. Is anybody there? No. Yeah, I got
you. Got me there. You got me there 100%. But again, that's the only point I wanted to make. Just that, you know, it's real, but that's how easy it is to get caught up in the zeitgeist. If you are not a person that at least knows how to remind yourself to fact check yourself. We can all run around here with a feeling. I feel like this, that, and the other. I feel like I've been disrespected. But what if you haven't?
Yeah, you know, I was listening to a video the other day, and even you know, we all kind of do these things, but man, it's really bad, bro. I heard people kind of trying to measure who did more. Even the brother who buy back Africa, who started all this, who kind of had James Small on the show. I can't think of his name right now, but Sister Queen has a connection with him, and he had another brother on the show. It was a good show, but then they started going to quantifying who was the most instrumental for Pan-Africanism. And it was like, in some ways, I could use that as a way to push back on FBA talking points, because from their conversation, they said the Caribbean is the most instrumental and has done the most. FBA would say that nobody else has practiced Pan-Africanism besides us American Black people or African Americans or what have you, or who they call FBA. Now, I struggle with quantifying so easily. I think we have to have a more nuanced conversation. To me, to some degree, I think we have to really, I mean, that could kind of, although both these brothers are African, so they didn't have any real dog in the fight per se, but I do think that even in those conversations, it deserves more nuance when you say who contributed most to Pan-Africanism. I think that would be a major, I think you have to ask the question, how do you measure that? And even if that's the essential question at all. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even with that, I'm like, you would at the same time, you would have to, at the very least, you'd have to focus it on inside each quote unquote geographical territory. Like I now, and I haven't done any research, but I'm like, I'd like to know how you're going to show and prove that African Americans were more influential in Pan-Africanism in Nigeria or in Uganda, or, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's
every group. Go ahead.
I think their thought is overall to Pan-Africanism overall. And some of the examples was the first Pan-African Congress were from Caribbean people and things of that nature. So, I mean, they're measure. I mean, in fact, I don't think there's a need to measure in that way, but I'm just saying that conversation can serve as one that others have contributed significantly, which debunks Pan-African FBA's talking points. And as I
Mm.
always say that, and I said this, and they said, and they said it as well, that when you think about Pan-African music, what do you typically think about? What is probably the most Pan-African art form? Now, no, go ahead. This is one of the
That might
conversations
be-
they had.
Okay, that's a little tricky for me. I'm not necessarily sure what you was gonna say,
No,
or what they were gonna say. I'm like,
that is a little tricky.
because I'm like, okay, from a personal standpoint, I would have to say reggae is a little bit more Pan-African than any particular genre out of the African American segment of the musical
Yeah, that's what.
world. Like,
That was their answer. That's what I haven't measured it, but when people say that the Caribbean doesn't practice Pan-Africanism, I said first and foremost, Rastafarianism is a major form of Pan-Africanism, a Pan-African religion, even though it uses the whole biblical thing at times,
right?
depending on what's at. But also, reggae is Pan-African music that's all around the world, one of the most popular art forms.
Right.
That comes out of the Caribbean.
Right. And so I'm like, I thought you were going to say, because I've heard the FBA people, trying to chest beat hip hop is the most important art form mess. And I'm just like, again, how you measure it can easily skew what you're saying. But I'm like, for me, if you're thinking along Pan-African ideas and promotion of ideas, then again, I would be like, well, I think there's more reggae artists that do that than hip hop artists. We've had some hip hop artists that do it, but they're definitely not the bulk of. So
when I think about hip hop, though, and some people really make good points. When you think about hip hop in a real sense, somebody, I don't know who I've been listening to. Hip hop is not even every Black American. Like, they make it the culture. Right. Hip hop ain't my daddy's culture.
Right.
Like he might like a little bit of something. He might have listened to something, and most of us don't. We don't look for real. We ain't into no graffiti writing, and I mean, that's been a point in time in history. Even breakdancing, that's a point in time in history. Now, people can say hip hop has evolved and done other things, but the reality is, I just gotta keep it frank. When I think about hip hop, the thing that keeps it alive for the most part is rap music, and for sure that ain't everybody's genre.
Exactly. It's so funny. I was having one of these little self-talk conversations earlier today, and I was thinking back to some of the stuff that I was building and working on when I did my Frank Zanu pieces, because one of my long-standing gripes is, especially for young African Americans, is that they only conceptualize culture as hip hop. So, and I furtively disagree with Frank Zanu and anybody like that. But if somebody says, well, you ain't got no culture because all you're doing is twerking, or all you're doing is rapping, and look at the rap music and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and I got all kind of ways to debunk that. But what I'm saying is, but if your only methodology of debunking that is to say, you can't talk about my hip hop, then you don't understand culture in and of itself. And so I'm like, with all of the vast different musical genres that we have created, the notion of planting your flag right down in the center of hip hop is ridiculous to me. And it is so very one-sided and reductionist and minimizing, because for one, you're only looking at music anyhow. And then you're only looking at one genre of music. And then even in that, and you're only defending one subgenre. And so I'm like, yeah, that's like so extremely problematic for me. But go ahead.
No, and I think again, I see somebody in the chat also agreeing with this idea that it's so easy to say because this person is seen as the father or this person. Like to me, I think that becomes like who created hip hop. And some of these people we call they call them like the predecessors of Pan-Africanism and even like let me give you one of the things like where I would kind of argue because I don't think people look at nuance per se. But let's say now we know Garvey is one of the most historical figures. Some would say he's not Pan-Africanist. Some people say he's a black nationalist. You know, then there's others say he's a Pan-Africanist. But let's go where he's a Pan-Africanist, right? Now Garvey is one person. He was instrumental at mobilizing people. But then you have to ask the question, where was he? So then we have to be able to tease out all that, and I think it's just pointless. Like the fact that like oh, United States did more, oh, the Caribbean did more. Like it to me is stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, and I don't think anybody can measure it. And I mean, I'm sorry for my chat members, but you just can't prove it. I'm just sorry, you just can't do it. I mean, like, and I think it becomes more of a tag of war fighting, and you know, you're gonna have to give me some standard measurement and how we come up with who is more instrumental. It's kind of like going into an institution and saying, oh, who started that? All the people around this person in this business weren't also instrumental. It's kind of like, okay, let's back it up a bit. Well, if you say that, well, Garvey is let's go with Garvey, being a Caribbean brother, and he came to the United States and did all his work with all these American black people, right? Okay, then if you were to give it all to Garvey or making him the most instrumental, then we can use that same logic with those white settlers who enslaved black people and say they built the country and were the most instrumental. So, I mean, it's just kind of like, yeah, you know, I think we just got to do bigger than that. It's kind of like when we say that Imhotep built the pyramid. Did he really build the pyramid? You know, like
right.
You know,
right.
So, but he gets the credit because maybe he designed it or what have you. But what I'm saying is we cannot discount all the people, all the men, all the women. And we often talk about not overlooking the women who also were very instrumental in these roles, even if it was their partner. Just like, for example, my wife is in this business. I always remind people that I can't do anything without her. I look like a face, but believe me, she is an engine. So, right. I mean, so look, I'm not, you know, I don't get into those little games, but you know, I just think it's a waste of time.
Right. Indeed.
I mean, y'all can push back on me. I appreciate it, but because you want me to go hit play again?
Yeah, hit play.
But then it got worse because at one point when he was having this discussion, he got tired of being called a tether. So he said this.
People want to try and disrespect me, but then I speak up for black women. But even in our business, we have taken chances on our careers to speak up for black women. And then I say one little thing, and then some black women go, oh, you went, I go, shut the fuck up. I speak up for you guys.
That's the offended by everything.
The time.
So I'm no longer going to defend you anymore. Let's talk about that. Number one, I don't know who Godfrey believes that he is. And it's important that Godfrey does.
Shut the fuck up. I speak up for you guys. And chances on our careers to speak up for black women. And then I say one little thing, and then some black women go, oh, you went, I go, shut the fuck up. I speak up for you guys.
That's the offended by everything.
The time.
So I'm no longer going to defend you anymore. Let's talk about that. Number one, I don't know who Godfrey believes.
Now, for the sake of conversation,
okay,
I don't, you know, I know that the word "shut the f up" could be very
triggering.
Say it again. Triggering. Yeah. Yes, right. And I think within context, we got to realize who this person is and how he talks on a consistent basis.
Right.
And actually what drew you to him in the first place, that language was already there.
Believes that he is. And it's important that God,
he says he don't know who he believes. Godfrey believes who Godfrey believes who he he is or whatever, right? Just listen to Mr. Passive Aggressive Oshay Jackson. He talks calm. But he's like, I don't know who this guy believes he is.
He does show a lot of respect to the Black American culture, and he does check people who are being disrespectful.
But then he turns around and starts to build them up again. He knows how to build you up. I'm assuming he's gonna go from this build. I don't know who he think he is. Build him up and then tear him back down to keep you in an emotional roller coaster.
To the culture. So I don't know if it's the correct thing to call him a tether. That's not necessarily true. But Godfrey must understand that not all Black Americans feel that he's a tether, and that person is just somebody in the comment section.
Oh, so now not all Black Americans feel that you are a tether. That was one person. So now we can go with one person when it comes to that Black American side. But now Godfrey got to understand that. But for some reason, FBAs can't get in their mind that not every African or every Caribbean feels that way. Somehow, Oshay, that you don't use that same logic for in the other direction, or at least FBA doesn't.
Or these are just people saying silly things. I mean, people say silly things about me all the time, and Godfrey is a public figure, so people are gonna say nasty things about you.
And people are a public figure, and they're gonna say nasty things about you. And I agree. But I also agree that doesn't mean he can't say something nasty back.
And then now saying, well, I don't want to defend hashtag FBA, which is what you already had.
And I will also say, I don't even think he said anything. Like even in that, he just said, shut the F up. Like, I protect you all the time. Why are y'all doing this to me? I mean, I might see something else. Like, I might see something else because I don't remember this video completely, but maybe he'll give you some more information. But at this point, the guy just says, shut up. I see us as one and the same. Shut up. I see us as one and the same. Why are you coming for me when I protected you? Shut the hell up with that shit. You know I protect you. You know I'm down with you. You know we are all the same in my eyes. We look alike. We are the same people. But look, shut up. Don't. Why y'all tripping on me now? For one comment is what I heard him say.
Admitted that you built your whole career on. It's kind of like me saying, I don't want to defend what I believe has got me to my point. And if people are calling you names, then they're calling you names, which is what you already admitted that you built your whole career on, nasty things about you. And then now saying, well, I don't want to defend hashtag FBA, which is what you already admitted that you built your whole career on.
I'm not sure about that because, I mean, I didn't do any research. Does he actually say FBA? Well, he's talking about Black people who ancestry come through America. And is he differentiating between the FBA cult and people that historically their ancestry came here through the United States of America?
Is who? Is Godfrey or is Oshay?
When Godfrey said I built my whole career, if Godfrey said that, is Godfrey saying I built my whole career on FBA? See, because that becomes that sleight of hands. What they do, they'll start saying because he said FBA, and I'm saying we have to differentiate between the cult FBA,
right,
and Black Americans. This is one of the examples why I say don't start using it because see they play this trick. Oh, he said he's built his whole career on FBA, but now he's insulting FBA. And you know, he's not talking about Black Americans. He's talking about the cult within the in Black America called FBA. That's my assumption.
Right. I got something. When this was, it might be the flat blackness thing. The sleight of hand that you were talking about. Because Oshay does this all the time in this video and in many of his videos. And it circles around the idea of trying to promote the use of the label. And he does that. I think he's doing it on purpose. It's not like he's just like forgetting or getting flustered in the midst of his conversation. Oshay is purposely trying to attach FBA to Black American, to African American to some extent, but he don't necessarily use the term African American. But he is doing that all throughout that conversation. Because again, the biggest thing that they want, if they can't have reparations, if they can't have delineation, they can at least get you to call us by that new name. And he does that as he breaks down this whole video.
Right. I have one of the people, a person that I have a person that I work with from the Caribbean, and she's like, I understand why it's like this. It's so like sometimes they can say it so well that if you're not really in tune with what FBA is doing, it'll have other people, like you have these Caribbean sympathizers for FBA. I know it's important that you use your own. I mean, it's not just Caribbean sympathizers, it's just FBA in general. They all believe that African American doesn't represent the African American people here. I talked to a sister yesterday. I was telling, like, so how many people you know from Caribbean that literally calls themselves African American, especially first generation or first generation and second generation? Unless
I haven't heard any of them do that. Like when I've been in conversation with like first generations and second generations, they still identify with me. They are still identifying as a Ghanaian American, a Nigerian American, or in some way they're like, well, my father is from Nigeria. I grew up here. So I don't hear them saying, not in any serious manner, I don't hear them saying I'm African American.
And that's true. And again, honestly, as I always say, a lot of people might use that American for paper reasons, but typically I don't hear Caribbeans or Africans or anybody call themselves American on the end either.
And but it is also it's still one of their talking point complaints, because if they heard a person, especially if they have the accent, if they heard a Jamaican accent saying I'm African American, they would see, but they don't hear that.
And then they say, well, you got to get reparations, and I don't want to take people. This is a sympathizer. Like, I don't want to take other. I think it's important that African Americans get reparations, and so the name is important. So FBA is important, and in some people do use African American. In this particular case, it was really real that the reason why a person from another country who grew up here, probably first generation, born here or here from a young age, what they would typically do is say African American as a form of solidarity. In fact, I already knew. I told the person, I said, I don't even think my wife even thinks about a label. Honestly, I asked my wife, I said, so how do you identify, babe? She said, I never even thought about it. I've never even thought about it. You know what I'm saying? But then they trick you with these forms. Because they got it says African and Black. What they're measuring is something totally different, fools. I'm sorry. Pardon me. They're not saying these people getting your reparations, because the form says, like I said, if it's that easy to change the name, I keep telling people, what's stopping you from now calling yourself FBA if we do change the name? It's not that easy. It has more to do with your ancestry. You're not gonna just be like, if it happened, in fact, it probably won't happen. But let's say we got reparations here in America, foundational whoever's, and so now you're just gonna show up and you don't get reparations because you said you deserve it. You're gonna have all types of you're gonna have white people up in that line with makeup on. You can have Rachel Dolezals, and you think that the only people to worry about is immigrants, Black immigrants. You don't think Rachel Dolezal is going to get up in that line? You like they got in the Native? You don't think there's going to be some stronger criteria? We out of our minds. Come on, man. All right, cuz I'm gonna push play. I see Mr. Rico.
It's kind of like me saying I don't want to defend what I believe has got me to my point. And if people are calling you names, then they're calling you names. But everybody gets called names. So it seems like maybe he's been feeling like this for a while. And then he said this.
How does this tether babble? How's this tether babble? You got me. My thing is this. My thing is this with the tether thing. Do you have a better argument? What have you read? That's all I ask. Since I'm this tether, I won't speak up for any of you guys anymore. How about that? How about I don't speak up for you anymore?
So Godfrey,
and he's also taking God. You see how he's manipulating what Godfrey and how Godfrey's responding, and he's actually responding. He had a smirk on his face, and he's actually debating a person, and he's trying to take this debate and try to spin it around. So, and he's also saying it. What Godfrey is saying is when he says that he won't take up effort, I won't take up for any of you anymore. Just to kind of like, and you could tell the way that he was responding. It was part of the debate. Like he's not meaning it like that, like he's saying it. Come on now, let's be real. And then basically saying, so it's kind of like saying that you're not going to take up for any of us no more. Come on, brother Oshay. Even if he was saying that, come stronger, man up. You know, testosterone up a little bit, bro. I'm sorry.
Said that he's lost some deals in the past for defending black women, and he does use the B word, but okay, I'll let him slide, you know, because let's say, for example, that's comedy and this is what they do. I'm
still trying to hear that Pan-Africanist Oshay show up in here. Look, bro, I haven't heard he's not even a fence rider. Oshay doesn't make it to fence riding category. He's just FBA all day. He tell you I'm a Pan-Africanist just to open you up to feed you FBAism. I haven't heard one Pan-Africanist point in his video. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he said, you know, he even called Godfrey's idea about black people being the same and coming together and all that type of thing. It's corporate Pan-Africanism. And what does he mean by that? I'm not even sure if he explained what he meant by that.
He doesn't.
But I'm assuming, now you assume one thing, I'm assuming perhaps it has something to do with he's doing it for financial reasons. I'm not sure.
So for shits and giggles, I won't even try to get.
You about to say something?
Yeah, let me say something. And I think what I'm gonna say is about what he about to say too, but he said something that I really wanted to break down. This whole thing about Godfrey made mention of putting his career on the line for standing up for certain things, black women, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, and that's cool to some extent. What I want to point out is that Oshay takes that and takes grand liberties. He turns it into something else. And I mean, and you can hear him. He said, I think, I believe, and probably, and maybe this and maybe that. But the whole thing is, like, what Oshay is doing is he's inventing a financial incentive that Godfrey didn't say even happened. Now, Godfrey said, I've spoken out on things, and in this business, when you speak out on things, that can put your career at jeopardy. But Oshay takes it to a different place and said he losing sponsorships. No, he ain't never said that. So Oshay is inventing a financial incentive, and he doesn't clarify it, qualify it. He doesn't pull up any receipts. He just keeps he's telling you that he is losing sponsorship deals. He's telling you that companies don't want to deal. That's not what he said.
You know what's crazy? I thought, honestly, when he said that, my mind got triggered to James Small losing money in Africa. I swear to God.
I thought that too. I thought that it's like
I was like, I'm thinking he talked about James Small.
Exactly. It's like, yo, okay, so maybe you had a mental hiccup or something, but I'm like, everything that he said is so much more applicable to the commentary that Professor Small said. And so I'm like, Oshay's this whole section of his video. Now, Godfrey clearly distances himself from FBA. Who wouldn't?
He should.
But so even if you say he's protecting himself or he's distancing himself to protect whatever this idea, he's a Nigerian American. He has contacts and connections, business relationships with Nigerian Americans. He clearly said he has contacts and connections and business relationships with other African Americans. So disassociation doesn't mean that that's just what it is. There is a general Black American doesn't need, I'll say it this way, a general Black American, because you don't have to be a Pan-Africanist, just a general. You don't have to have deep familiarity with the FBA framework and the ideology and the zeitgeist to want to reject to want to distance yourself from it. Any cursory look at the public rhetoric coming from all of the loud voices, the Tariqs, the Oshays, and some other names. The hostility, their divisiveness, their trickery. All of this idea about FBA being the special blacks. That alone is enough to make you say, nah, I'm going to distance myself from that. Most people distance themselves from FBA online. They're not doing it because they got businesses on the table. They're not doing it because they got a business deal like Professor Smalls had. They're doing it because as soon as they enter the orbit of FBA and they clock it and they clock the energy. I've seen them all over TikTok. They're like, yo, whoa, I just dodged a bullet. I'm not with this. Mm-hmm. And so that's just part of what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
I was wondering, I see Sherry Covington says, how does this benefit us? I'm not sure exactly. Sherry, if you could further flesh that question. I'm not sure if you're speaking to us and about the topic today or something else, because I would like to respond to that if you are speaking to this particular topic and us or what have you. But let me see, you say something here like FBA is looking more, okay, it sounds like what you might be saying, Sherry, is that I don't know if it's Sherry or Cherie, pardon me on that, but I think what you're saying is that how does FBA benefit us? That's what I'm assuming you're saying. But if not, just go ahead and put something in the chat. Somebody said, I don't know about that Korean Games thing. I'm hoping Oshay didn't say that. I'm hoping peace to all the family. Make sure you on both channels, The Proper Perspective and Dr. Dennis Ausar Winkler. Make sure you like this video, you share it, you hype it up if you're listening to it later. And yeah, because I think that was an excellent point. Like, and what did you call it? A mental hiccup? Yo, I mean, that right there, you know, like, I was like, I was like, okay, I instantly said it was a mental hiccup without coming up with the terminology. Like, is he talking about James Small? And I didn't even question. I'm like, my mind just said, oh, he talking about James Small. But literally, that's a good catch. Like, that Oshay, I'm sorry, that what's the brother's name? Godfrey never said anything about, never said. I got two things in my mind that I want to say at the same time. That's crazy, right? Not sure if y'all have experienced that, but you might know that I experience that all the time. If y'all ever know, my brain moves faster than my mouth. And y'all might say, why does he do that? Yeah, my brain moves faster than my mouth. So lots of times I have to, do that thing. So two things. Godfrey has been under attack by FBA and FBA fence riders for whatever. I remember during Black History Month, again, FBA fence riders was coming for Godfrey. Some of them saying, oh, he got this information wrong. And yeah, he had some information that was wrong. It was, but it was literally in service of Black America. It was literally like, it was mythology to some degree, or maybe it wasn't totally wrong. It was like he wasn't just specifically as specific or as this particular FBA fence rider wanted him to be. But I think it was more about an attack on him, because like he would be like, you know how some people would say this person, I don't remember all the names, he developed the light bulb, and then someone was like, well, he was it Lewis Lattimore or something, it was the filament, not the light bulb, it was the incandescent bulb. Like, so basically they were going in not in a way of just correcting, but correcting and bossing up, like, shut up. If you're saying things wrong, stop all this fake stuff. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. It was very aggressive. Now, it was a lot of energy behind it for And now looking back at it, it's like, yeah, man, a lot of FBAs and FBA fence riders always coming for Godfrey. I don't even look, to be honest with you, I'm not into like a lot of comedy or like things that I think are a little ratchet. I don't know much about Godfrey, but what I am saying is I haven't seen Oshay Duke Jackson's Pan-African card ever. And he's been calling himself a Pan-African or Pan-African adjacent since I used to see him used to do that show when he was in the States. And I still have not seen it. Has anybody seen him? Has anybody seen him? I haven't seen Oshay's Pan-African card yet. He's not a Pan-African. I'm sorry. He's not an African Senate Pan-African, a revolutionary Pan-Africanist. He's none of it. I don't even know why don't continue to let this guy lie to you. He is a opportunist off of the FBA and Pan-African banner, whichever fits better. I don't even know. He doesn't. I think he brought his uncle on one time or something like that, if I recall, back in the day, saying my uncle introduced Pan-Africanism to me. That's kind of like somebody who father introduced them to Christianity, but they never confessed in Christ himself. I don't know. But anyway, anything else, cuz, before I hit the play again?
No, go ahead.
Personal with that. I'll just let that slide, because let's say that's just for next. But let's look at the real argument about this. Number one, defending black women is one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah, and to be honest, I see Mr. K, that person who did that video on the moon landing. That was the real Professor Dave on the show. That was the white Professor Dave on that show. And typically, they bring Professor Dave on the show to beat up on black people. The last time Professor Dave was on that show, Professor Dave was on that show talking about African Senate is pseudoscience and all this other stuff. He was coming hard. But this time, he didn't fall for the okie doke. He did. Professor Dave actually said, "No, I'm cool with Godfrey. Actually, these guys respect me." And they thought they was bringing Professor Dave on to do a drive-by. But Professor Dave didn't fall for the drive-by. You know what I mean? You about to say something?
Oh, I was going to say, it reminds me of something that happened on Garfield's channel last year, I think it was, when they was trying to get a couple of white professors on there to show and prove that ancient Egypt didn't have any blacks, wasn't a black civilization or anything like that. And when the professors came on there, like, they just tore Garfield's whole platform down, because they were like, oh no, they were black. So
yeah. And I hear that because and they try to make these arguments that they're not black because during that time, sometimes I think at least I'm trying to figure out Unc's argument, but it's the same stuff, and it's kind of like they get it somewhat, but I think they suffer. I'm not sure about Godfield, but Unc definitely suffers when it comes to social science, and he probably does a great job. I told him this before. He does an okay job when it comes to evolution, some of what people call the hard sciences. But when they kind of venture off into things like race, and I even heard them say ethnicity was biological. Like, no, that's also a social construct. I think people begin to think that race is the only social construct, and it's kind of crazy, right? Because people don't understand what a social construct is. And just because there's a social construct doesn't mean it's not a real thing. It's describing a thing. The problem with race is that in its inception, it didn't actually describe what it said it was describing. That's what made it a pseudo-scientific construct. You know what I mean? If race was just someone's melanin content, and you measure that, and you could measure that perfectly, you could say, okay, this is describing something. But race was never invented in that way. So race is complex. It's not even just your melanin content or the type of melanin, because we all have melanin. But race is a social category that was utilized and misutilized and given faulty characteristics and traits. That is why it's very pseudo. Now you try to now make race more about these other things, and things can evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And some would say that race is a social political construct. Like, for example, some people say I don't want to use race anymore because white people created race. Others saying, no, I'm going to use black. We're going to flip it back on them. It's going to be our social political position, and we're going to be black power. They tried to destroy us with it, so we're going to take it back and tear this MF up. Quite like the queer community. We've been talking about. Look, y'all go check that show out from yesterday. Y'all don't be scared. Y'all don't be scared. Look, don't be scared. I want y'all to look at the show about is Dr. Dog coming for the LGBT plus community. I want y'all to go look at it. But nonetheless, queer was not seen as a positive thing. They took the term and they saying we flipped it on you. We're queer. Now, I challenge us as black people not to just accept all these labels that any Europeans put on us, no matter what your sexual orientation is. That's why I kind of dig Dr. Cleo Monago. He's like, nah, don't just be accepting white people terms. And he says gay is a white person term. Lesbian is a white person term. Queer is a white person term. The whole rainbow from Dr. Cleo Monago's perspective is are white people, white liberal terms. Okay, y'all deal with what y'all do with it. Y'all take that up with Dr. Monago.
On a black-centered show, Godfrey, you are very black-centered. So anybody who wants to sponsor you understands that 154 is black-centered. Godfrey is live. I mean, literally, you spend half the show talking about the diaspora. On your TikTok, you're weighing in on everything black, from what's going on with South African xenophobia to what's going on with institutional racism. And again, Godfrey is well-read. He talks about these things all the time. He's like a walking encyclopedia. But now, where is the proof that you have these brand deals rejected for supporting black women? Now, this, I feel, is a lie, because if you really want to do very well, the number one group that you can support is black women. There is no sponsor out there that will say, you know what? We don't want you talking about black women or supporting black women, because everybody wants black women's business and spending power. Essence wants it. Ebony wants it. Shein wants it. I mean, if you're in any kind of cosmetics or any kind of goods or services, black females are pound for pound some of the highest spending customers that you can get. So I don't understand it. Do they want you to support white women?
What is he saying here? I think I got lost.
He lost in his own mind. Like, again, what I said earlier, Godfrey never made the claim that he was losing sponsorships. So, period. End of story. I don't know. Like, Oshay is smoking something. Godfrey never said I lost a sponsorship. I was in jeopardy of losing a sponsorship. Nothing about loss and sponsorship ever came out of Godfrey's mouth. This is all Oshay.
Are you sure he didn't get that from some other video, maybe? Or there's a longer form of this particular clip that we're missing? Or
there may be a longer clip of the Oshay video. So okay, but
maybe not the Oshay. I'm saying Godfrey. Let me say this though. I'll say this. There could be a longer form of the Godfrey video, but okay. Number one. We looking at Oshay's video. Oshay is responsible for Oshay's commentary and Oshay's video. He has no receipts.
And I have to do this. There are people like when I do my long forms and then, my clips come populating out and some people will come through and make comments. And I'm like, sometimes I get a little upset. It's like, well, if you saw the whole thing, then you would understand why I'm saying what I'm saying in this clip.
Right.
But no, it's my clip. I got to defend what's in the 60-second version. Just like, I can say you go look at the 2 hours, but I still got to stand on what's in my 60-second clip. Now, I went back and watched this video 2 more times because I was like, where did Godfrey say he lost a sponsorship? Now, he may have said it somewhere else, but just like, inside this video and in the sections that he plays from Godfrey, there's nothing in this video where Godfrey says, I lost a sponsorship. So that's the only reason. So I'm just saying,
Hey, cuz you gonna have to do something with them fingers, man. You keep giving us a thumbs down. You got to do like this. You stemming over here. You stemming, and you got to stem up, not stem down.
I didn't know that's what that was. That's what that's coming from. I didn't know what those things were coming from.
You must be over there doing the whole,
because actually I'm just doing like this, but I don't know, like
I
whatever.
I don't know how it's doing the thumbs down.
I don't even know where that came from, but I'm like, all right, look, I'm gonna thumb it up, thumb up, thumb up, thumb up. But again, what I'm saying is, like, inside this video, Godfrey is not saying I lost a sponsorship. I don't. So okay, maybe he said it in another video, but then that just means, once again, that means Oshay is sloppy, because there's no way you should bring that part of your argument into the video as if it's part and parcel to it. Like that's part of the argument.
Let me give
you what do.
Let me say this. I think you're right. Like, so, and let me even build on what you're saying here, because you're like a real fair person. I appreciate that. Now, the thing is, I don't know why they call you the Pan-African Terminator and me the peacemaker. I don't know why sometimes. Like, because I think you're more peaceful than me sometimes. At least maybe you're a little bit more objective than Oshay. So in a genuine way. But Oshay, unlike you, your clips and my clips, they're probably clips from a long form video. Oshay creates these he creates these. These are like, he creates them from scratch. He's not pulling this out like a longer broadcast. So he's actually creating these clips and he's narrating the whole thing. So he's pulling other clips in to prove what he's saying, but he's not doing a good job. He has plenty of time to show the clip where Godfrey said what he's saying Godfrey said. So whether or not, so I agree with you that Oshay is creating these clips. He's in some type of software program pulling in clips to create short form, relatively short form content. It's more than, like mid-form. Okay. Yeah. So he's making these things. So if you were to do the same thing, my dear cuz, I know you would put in the evidence. You will put in the receipts. What you're doing is pulling your clip is coming from a longer form where you're going. It's more of a slower process to get to your point. You're laying out the receipts. Your 60-second clips that we pull out of the longer form are just pieces to serve as reels to actually bring people back to the longer form.
Right. Right. Now, Refree says, I watched the entire podcast. Oshay is telling blatant lies. Now, I watched, I don't know if I saw the entire Godfrey podcast, but I did watch some of it. And again, I at least up to the point where I didn't hear Godfrey say anything about losing a sponsorship. I didn't hear either of those words in connection to each other in it. So again, I'm just like, okay, look, I'll deal with Oshay's video as a standalone piece. And I'm like, Oshay, you lying.
Refreef, I'm not going to go and watch the whole podcast. I'm gonna let you know that right now. You watched it. And I'm not, and speculation is okay. I'm not gonna waste my time to look at that podcast like that. But what I will say is, but I will say is there's nothing wrong with speculation, especially since I call it speculation, or I tell you I don't know. And these are conceptualizations. This is what I do. But nonetheless, I can make very strong inferences off of what I have here and what I've seen happen traditionally with FBA, ADOS, and this other guy. What's his name? Oshay, Duke Jackson. Oshay. But thank you for the suggestion. All right, Dr. Daw should go watch. Okay, you didn't sound too bad, but thank you for that, Hold on, Refree. Juke, the unfunny joke jacks. Oh, y'all got all type. Look, I've never seen this chat have so many names for one. Like, typically, I haven't even seen people come for Tariq this strong in this chat. Y'all typically don't really be coming with the names, but today y'all got all types of names for Oshay. What's y'all bone to pick with Oshay? Why y'all coming for Oshay like that? I mean, y'all not coming for him too tough, but y'all got all types of nicknames for him.
Now, I think Oshay has a very strong hate crowd.
Oh, he does?
Justifiably so. I think I've watched several of his shows. I have tuned in to his lives and whatnot, and I'm just like, no, he's very much in the model of Tariq. And I guess, for some people, Tariq sort of did this flip. So Tariq came in pro-Black, Pan-African, this, that, and the other, and then he flipped. I don't know that Oshay ever did that, aside from just calling himself. The name of his show was the Pan-African Dating Show. But aside from using the label, he never really put any work along the ideology of Pan-Africanism. And so I think a lot of people are responding to what they see. And again, somebody else in the chat was saying they know him from the Manosphere. Well, if that ain't a swamp, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Mr. K says here, Mr. K, I see these comments like, you can't go to Africa and find any form of Pan-Africanism practice. At this point, I'm not even wasting my time on it, but I appreciate you saying all they need to do is look up and research Pan-African payment and settlement system in Africa. That's not you, cuz.
Okay, yeah.
Is that my hat? Oh, is it the person on the screen?
I have no idea.
That could look like a thumbs down a bit, but
in the freeze video in the Oshay thing.
Oh, it's coming back again.
That's crazy.
You had to move that screen. It's not you, cuz I blame it on you. So let's see here. I told you Oshay said Corn Gaines deserve to be by the police. Dr. Dahl, you need to investigate. Oh, I see what you're saying. Free. I don't know. I mean, look, you sent me the clip. I'm not going to go and research that for what? I mean, I already look. Free. I know fraudulent people. I don't need to look at. I'm not one of those people that need to eat an entire cow to know it's beef. I'm not one of those people. I'm pretty quick, and some people say I have high levels of certitude and accuracy. But if you want to send me the clip, and it's, you can join the DAW lecture hall research team in the Shabazz. I don't know what the name of his chat is yet.
Yeah,
but
I don't need it.
The
Shabazz break it down chat.
The Shabazz break it down chat and send us the videos, and we can, we can't look at all these videos. You got to know how frustrated, how much work it took for me to get to look at any level of a Tariq Nasheed video. It took me so much work to get to, but I realized why y'all look at this guy. He's hilarious. I mean, sickly hilarious. I mean, he is crazy. I mean, when I say crazy, I'm saying how black people say crazy. How y'all might say, how they might try to say that's FBA culture. Man, I was listening to this guy Daniel that I was telling you about. He's trying to clean up FBA so much. This brother's like, yeah, y'all need to, y'all immigrants need to stop being so sensitive. It's FBA culture that we insult each other. You hear that gaslighting stuff? like the fact that it's FBA culture to insult each other. Oh, then he goes from, we call you tethers, but y'all should be okay with that because that's what FBAs do. Then he goes into this thing. Well, if you ask FBAs what their first nickname is, mostly all FBA, their nicknames their first nickname are insults. And it sounds so smart. What's your first nickname, cuz? You got one?
Oh, shit. Not really. I mean, the first nickname that was given to me back in high school was just based off our last name. So, like,
Wink?
yeah, but it was just calling me Wink. Other than that, when I started moving into hip hop spaces, my quote unquote nickname was whatever mic name I was using at the time. And so, Gully is the one that stuck the longest. So,
yeah, and I get it, right? Like, so now my first nickname, I think my only, I don't know, might have been Man, but it's Manny. That's my nickname. Right. But I do know people who got nicknames like, he's saying it's FBA culture. Like you might, like, in other words, let me give you one that he's trying to say. Like, somebody might be called Head because they got a big head. But my brother-in-law from Jamaica, guess what they call him? Head. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not just typical. Other cultures do these type of things as well. So, or they might call somebody Slim or Skinny or something like I don't know about Skinny, but somebody Skinny something, Fat Boy.
Yeah. And it was this thing about the Dirty Dozens and signifying, and it was another one about I think this one, I can't remember what pockets of the African-American community sort of like kept it going, but it stemmed from, I think they said it stemmed from the Igbo that came over here, but it was this thing about cousins. And it was like where cousins disrespect each other, but it was still tantamount to like the Dirty Dozens. And so it was just like in certain Igbo cultures, like cousins will, when they approach each other, they start dissing each other just to see who can get the best dagger in, and then they hug it out and go on about their business and do blah blah blah. And it was like, it's just like the Dirty Dozens. So, but
so don't do that. They will lose their minds. Come on, cuz you can't give you can't say it started on the motherland. Come on, man. Look, we got
Sure, I tried to show them. I showed them how breakdancing came from Africa. So they got mad at me about that too.
Come on, man. You look, man. Look, you can't do that, man. Look, can't we have something?
I'd be like, not the way that they want it. I'm sorry, you can't. Because one of my things is, even for all of these people, like it's a brother put it in the chat, I can't be an African because I ain't got no ties to the continent. I'm like, your DNA is your DNA. So our African DNA, it didn't change. And I'm like, that same DNA is something embedded in there. And that's why we continue to manifest our culture everywhere we go, whether we manifest it 100%, 50%, whether we manifest it positively or negatively, we still doing the things over here that we was doing over there before white folks showed up.
Quiet as kept. They really saying that quiet as kept. What they're saying is this, cuz they not the same. They not like us. In fact, they think that they believe something a little different than Frank Zainu. Frank Zainu don't believe Africans did anything anywhere. FBA believe Africans everywhere else besides the United States haven't done anything. So what FBA believes is that, now they don't say it, but if you really step back and look at the picture, they believe that although they might know where 70, 80%, 90, 70, 80, high 80% African ancestry, we have a high 70 to 80 something percent African ancestry through DNA, that something about that 25 to 30 something percent white DNA makes us superior, makes us different, makes us better.
Yep.
Now we can go into genetics and speak about how all variations come from the continent first and foremost. Well, you can find all the variations on the continent and it moved outward, but there's some other narratives about how some moved out and moved back in and things like that, Neanderthal and all that type of thing. But nonetheless, every sequence you can find on the African continent. So, but they somehow think that the form that we found on the European continent, that 10, 20, 30% of white DNA, if we can call it that, though we know that's not proper perspective. We know they believe that makes them better. You can't tell me nothing, even if it's at the subconscious level. They believe that little bit of, they believe that whiteness makes them superior to other Africans.
Yep.
Not, and there's admixture in different places in Africa as well. So, I mean, like, it's just, but you can't tell, because they like, we had an ethnogenesis and we had an amalgamation of white and they'll name everything besides the African, which they are predominant. They were, I mean, you should hear the sickness, cuz the last live we did, y'all, cuz been holding out. That live went well too, by the way. I think he was ready to go live on the 4th of July. I think that was me right there. I was like, look, we ain't open. Look, cuz I think that one was on me. But all the rest of them, I was actually live those weeks. But
no, you was good. I was running into all kind of problems. Even on July 4th, because I was gonna try to go, and I forget what happened there, but something else ran. It was July 4th, and I think then the weekend before, my whole computer thing just went shut down. I've been having issues. My mic died the other day.
Say it again.
My mic died the other day. Was Thursday I was live and like 30. That 30. The one that's working now, but 35 minutes in on my live, and it was just, it went out. And like there was people in the chat saying, can't hear you, mic's muted, can't hear you. And I'm like, it started like at 34 minutes or 35 minutes. And I spent like 10 minutes hitting buttons and going out and coming back in and unhooking shit. And I'm like, well, look, family, I'm out. I had to reboot the computer totally in order to get the mic to come back.
So we got some comments here. We say, debating FBA supporters about genetic sequences and what genetic markers mean is a waste of time. Absolutely. Effing-lutely. Right there. I thought I saw some FBA people in here earlier. Did they leave? You're right about, okay, let me see what this person says. By choice, he is self-glorified, amalgamated Negro born in 56 farms and plantations that carried the Neanderthal master name. We don't honor the grapers or the scene of those crimes. That's what I think Malcolm said something about, something similar to that, right? You're right about that, Pan-Africanist first said. And let's see what I'm scared. What is Mr. K saying here? Dr. Dennis Winkler. The book Yo Mama by cuz give me the name. Jimmy A. Nigerian.
Onu Chekwa. Chekwa. Jimmy A.
Okay, Omu Chekwa.
Jimmy or Jimmy.
A Nigerian scholar is about the subculture of roasting and Mr. K, where you get all this stuff from? Hey, Mr. K, I think you only failed me one time when I asked the question, Mr. K. I said, you sure this Umar channel? I'm not sure if this Umar channel. Mr. K, I'm a little still skeptical. I'm glad I asked, because when it don't sound right, I'd be like, I don't know, Mr. K, you sure this Umar channel? He was like, yes, this is Umar channel. Mr. K, I don't know if you gave me the right one on that, but I'm saying you hitting like out the park like a 99, like a 90. You hitting a good 95. I'm gonna say. Besides with me, every time you debate me, Mr. K, I'm just letting you know I'm correct. Hey, so look, let me tell you what Mr. K did in a chat one time. Let me tell you, Mr. K was trying to pull up on me one time. I think it was a Dr. Mayat chat. He was like, Dr. Ausar, I bet I know you know more about some subject, and I was like, I didn't say I know more. I said, you might do. I don't know everything. I think it was like, I think I know more about. Dang, what was it? Was it a person like Garvey? Or it was somebody. I was like, look, you probably do. But anyway, I appreciate you, Mr. K, for all that you do, all the support and all that you do to keep us on the necks of our brothers and sisters so we can wake them up. All right, so because somebody Brother P is in the house.
Okay.
Oh, it was Malcolm X. Yeah, that's right. Mr. K was like, Dr. Daw, I bet you I know more about Malcolm Al Haj Malik Shabazz. I said, you may do. Okay. Okay, Mr. K, next. Hey, Mr. K, try to have a diaspora war. Come on, Mr. K. Don't be starting no diaspora wars, Mr. K. That's why the FBA is mad at you now. You over there in the UK talking about you know more about Malcolm X. I walked on the ground that Malcolm X walked on, Mr. K. I don't know if you did. You sound like you have. I don't know. You might be down in North Carolina somewhere talking about you in the UK. No. I look at my stats. I see somebody in the UK. A couple of y'all are in the UK. All right. Let's see, Mr. P. Let me do this. Oh, my cousin. How do you go away? Okay. Brother P, what it is, man?
It was good. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, cool. Now, I just wanted to just come in and just give you a good timeline on Oshay. It's the people that's commenting, such as myself, probably have been following him for. Well, I stopped following. I never followed him.
God bless you. I'm glad you stopped because
I'm not even going to say I did follow him. I never followed him.
Okay, that's even better.
Do you know who this guy is by the name?
I was worried about your brain cells. Seriously, but go ahead.
Nah, we good. But have you ever heard of this guy on YouTube called Dynasty Amir?
Who?
Dynasty Amir.
Dynasty. I've heard of him.
Yes. So
he's supposed to be go ahead.
Yeah, he was adopted by a Yoruba family, like royal family. Some like a little like before COVID really hit, like the pandemic really hit.
Yeah.
I only got put onto him because I was a part of this African centered group called the FBAism. And my homie, that was one of the founders. He was real cool with him. So Dynasty Amir, he platformed Oshay. He platformed Oshay. For me? Or somewhere Dynasty.
Dynasty.
It's spelled like Dynasty, yeah.
Okay.
His name is Dynaz, but it's spelled like Dynasty.
Okay, cool.
So without the I guess the Y.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, he platformed several people. He platformed Oshay. I can't remember this other dude, this chubby dude from Cal. I think he was going by Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. And he platformed him. He platformed a little bit of Boyce Watkins as well, I believe.
Hold up. All these fake Pan-Africanists.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's actually a tree of this. There's a lineage of this.
Oh man.
And there's one more person that the African Diaspora channel. He changed to that, but he platformed that. Phil something.
Yeah, Phil. I remember years ago.
Yeah.
And Phil was talking on that mess back in the day, and I know he got his wife. People was coming for him because he used to have his wife posted.
Yeah, he got a Mexican wife,
and she wasn't black. Yeah, he was talking all that tough black stuff back in the day.
So and a little bit of Dr. Moombi, if you ever heard of her as well from Kenya. She's a Kenyan woman.
Man,
that's what I'm saying. There's a long history with
God dang, bro.
Yeah, he ain't just pop up out of nowhere.
God dang. All these names together.
Yes. So Dynasty Amir, I don't know. He has no choice but to promote Pan-Africanism. But a little bit before the pandemic, he was kind of on this. It was before it became FBA. He was on that ADOS wave for a little bit, And then my homie Hola, he checked him on his live. Like, yo, bro, why are you following shit? Excuse me for my language. Why are you following stuff? And you haven't really done the research yourself on what it is. But that's because Dynas, like the rest of these people that I named, are grifters. And I'm not wrong, Reef. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, and thank you, Black Adam Brandon. That's his name. They all are grifters. So Dynas has no choice now because of him being adopted, regularly going to the Benin Festival and stuff of that nature.
Reef, hold on. Reef, let the brother rock. We can verify what he's saying. He's giving.
I don't know what Reef is talking about. He's lying.
Reef saying you're wrong, but he
can provide proof in the chat if I'm wrong. But anyways,
we can rock off.
He has no choice now because I remember there was one live too where he was calling different embassies when he was on his ADOS wave. He was calling different embassies asking about dual citizenship and seeing how the process.
Hold on one second, brother P. So Reef, please, instead of saying that he's wrong, put what you're saying he's wrong about. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I do know that some of the dots that he put together are accurate because I don't know all of this. But one of the things, I'll just give you an example. I've heard that guy Brandon speak about how he was really how Oshay put him on. And he was speaking about, so I know some of this is absolutely correct. Now, if what you're saying is wrong, put it in the chat. Go ahead, dear brother.
He's saying to everyone, this person does not know what he's talking about. Yes. So anyways, when he was on this ADOS tip, there's one live. He was calling different embassies, asking about dual citizenship. But then my homeboy, my OG Holla, had to check him on that. So now, but then also he got adopted into the Yoruba, kingdom, but with the royal families. So now he has no choice but to fully promote Pan-Africanism because it's like, bro, you're adopted into a royal family. So you literally can't go on this ADOS grift because you're literally a product of said Pan-Africanism. Now, that's where Oshay, Brandon, and all these other people I mentioned, not so much Boyce Watkins. Boyce Watkins kind of had his own platform.
So he said Dr. Boyce Watkins has nothing.
Oh, now I'm partially correct now. Anyways,
let me just read it. Let me read it just for the sake of the show. He says Dr. Boyce Watkins has nothing to do with Dynas and Mir. So that's what he's saying is wrong.
I guess, but he was definitely on his platform several times.
Okay. And you said not necessarily him per se, but those
other people, I for sure he platformed and they blew up from there.
Okay, cool.
So same thing with Brandon, as you know, Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. He was, promoting Pan-Africanism, but as you ultimately saw, he cared about money rather than actual, revolution. So now, as somebody mentioned too, he's now on this weird. Because I don't follow any of these people, but the last I saw, he was kind of still saying he was a Pan-Africanist, but everything he was saying was this Black conservative talk.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, even with Oshay Dudak Jackson, before he moved to Uganda, he was originally in Poland because he was studying to be a medical doctor. I've forgotten what practice.
That's right.
But he was studying to be a medical doctor in Poland. Once he started getting money off the internet, he completely stopped his studies in Poland, moved to Uganda because that's when Pan-Africanism was cool, to the masses, I guess you could say. So he moved to Uganda to try to get some businesses popping, but then he realized that it wasn't as easy as he thought, right? Which some of his videos was actually kind of like interesting. Like he was showing how you can get into these places in Uganda, but you needed money to get into these high places with these high, with the Ugandan high rules essentially, right? That's where your cousin, the OG Proper Perspective was all found out about Oshay with the Pan-African dating channel. That was his when he first got there, that was his thing, with trying to promote Pan-Africanism with a dating show. Then he started Kinganda. That's that's his other channel That's like a podcast where, like, himself, maybe some other African American people at times that live in Uganda, Uganda locals, stuff of that nature. Then that's when, again, I guess that, the money started drying up there with the Pan-African shit. And now he's on this FBA tip for the last few years. Let's just say the last few years.
So they saying you don't know what you're talking about. They teaming up on you now.
It's funny because I can actually go to his channel and pull up the stuff I'm talking about. They're not doing none of that.
Okay. Well, what I would like to do though is tell me, the details I can't substantiate or refute or what have you, right? But let me know, give me an idea with all this information you're saying. What's the narrative? What's the picture? What should we be considering as you give us this information?
Ultimately, that he pretty much as you probably already know, he's grifting. The FBA pivot that he did is just him trying to get the FBA money. Because before that, as somebody said, he was doing the manosphere stuff as well.
Yeah. So guess
and
what?
Then it slowly transitioned into
guess what?
The FBA stuff.
Brother P, I'm gonna say this: if you were wrong about everything, I know you're 100% accurate about the grift. Because I don't need to eat a cow. I don't need to eat a whole cow to know a fraudulent person in front of me. I don't need to eat the whole cow. You know what I mean? Like, so I appreciate.
All right, just for the case of Riff, because whatever reason he's really harping on this. Yes, these people have their own platforms. You are correct. They weren't doing numbers until they got on Dynast, and Dynast was bringing them on to his channel. Is Dynast still around? Yes, I believe so. Once that happened, Afro Think Tank is in. Oh shit! Once Dynast put them on his channel, that's when they blew up on their own.
So, peace to brother Afro Think Tank. Dynast is a fake prince because you cannot be given the title prince. Is not a title to bestow on anybody. You're either something was saying when I saw the word prince, I was like, he's a prince, because I kind of missed what you were saying. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. When I saw the word prince in the chat, I was like, hold up, you mean this guy's supposed to be a prince? Like, okay. I mean, this is
so because he actually has a video on his YouTube of him going to Nigeria.
Yeah.
And like apparently, long story short, apparently this sect of the, I guess, Yoruba royal family, he claimed he had a dream that one of my long lost cousins was coming back to visit me, and I feel this cousin is you. So that's how he got his Nigerian passport and all that through.
Okay, sounds like polite, brother.
Yeah,
but I mean, again, I'm gonna look this cat up now. His name is Dynast. I mean, please remind me, because when I get off of here, I'm gonna have some good. I'm not even look. I might eat I need to find some popcorn, because I'm just thinking like, look, I'm not, man, but yeah, he's a. I don't have to even know all these details to know a fraud when I see him.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, it's just clear. But I appreciate you.
I just wanted to give you a proper timeline. That's
no. I appreciate the timeline, because in the connections, because even connecting him again with Afro Think Tank, and who's that other guy you said? Because I knew they all fake Pan-Africanists. They're all fake, like Afro Think Tank. I'm sorry. What's the guy? Brandon Scott, whatever.
Yeah,
Brandon,
not Afro.
Brandon.
Yeah.
He called himself a Pan-Africanist, and nothing comes out of his mouth as any form of Pan-Africanism. Like he is the Oshay Duke Jackson mimic, because they both say they have no Pan-African revolutionary Pan-African identity, nor cultural nationalist or any type of Pan-African identity, other than them saying that they are Pan-Africanists. These two together, oh man, that's enough right there for me.
Yeah.
And they both connected to this guy Dynasty. And I do know, as I said, I've heard that guy Brandon. I can't look at his videos either, because something ain't right with him. But nonetheless, I've heard him say that how what's the word, y'all? He felt like he was he respected Oshay for putting him on and all that. So I know some of that is true. and he was talking about how Oshay say he built his platform and how he's going to do the same thing and all this. Some weird people, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man. I'm about to stop spewing lies to you in the chat.
Well, hey, P, don't be coming here with no lies, man.
But all right,
but I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. So, Dynas was involved with a bit. Look, anybody who caught up in these type of things, I'm sorry. Yes, Bitcoin be scamming. Look, all the frauds do the same things. They all do the same things. You know, I wouldn't put it past him to have his own Bitcoin. like Trump got a Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Afro Think Tank says, and all of them be voting for Trump. Absolutely, that's right.
Yeah, he said he voted for him 3 times.
And he says Dynas voted for Trump. Somebody voted for who? Trump 3 times?
No, Afro Think Tank said that Dynas voted for Trump 3 times.
Philip did not need Dynas. Who is Philip? That's the guy with the fake Pan-African dude. The other one.
Philip Scott, the one with African Diaspora News Network, I think is his.
Yeah, when he first came out, he used to have that like the city behind him, like he was like a real news commentator, like God.
Yep.
I used to see him come on, man. I thought that was so corny, but look, he did his. I thought it was so corny, but he was so consistent, man, that he grew that channel years ago. Oh my God, man! Look, I'm telling you, boy. I can smell a fraud. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Look, I can smell a fraud, brother. Cuz, what you got? Did you want to end? You want to hit some more of this video up? You want to?
I was gonna say we probably could end it, but how much is left in the video?
It's about. Let's see. It's about 5 minutes left. Exactly.
Okay. Now, what's up with you?
Now, if you want to do 5 minutes and let it ride out, or big chunks of it at a time, we can do that. Or we can like do a 2 minutes and then break.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And it's gonna be faster than that because I got it on a little speed. The speed is at 1.25. I can put it
that's cool.
I can put it at 1.35. See how that works. All right, let's get it.
Because we know white men ain't supporting you. You're not like Aries Spears, where your comedy is more, from what I understand, broad or mainstream. You're not Dave Chappelle. You're certainly not Kevin Hart. You don't command that style of audience. And so what I really feel is that while Godfrey does have a certain level of respect,
you don't even know how. I'm sorry, I had to do it. like I imagine those people are what are considered in their eyes FBA. I don't know these people's background, but even in that, I think this is slight, subtle war against comparing these type of comedians who come from the United States against Godfrey, who is a quote unquote immigrant.
For the Black American community, I do believe that this level of corporate Pan-African,
the guy be planting seeds. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah,
he's wicked, bro. He's wicked.
Is being problematic. And I'll tell you what corporate Pan-Africanism does. When you're Godfrey and you want to have relationships with the larger states, that means you're a Nigerian, but you would like to have more relationships and opportunities with the Nigerian diaspora. You cannot sign with #foundational Black Americans when this is a global world.
What?
That would be career suicide, especially if
What? I'm sorry. You got something. I see you moving. Like, what does that mean? I'm sorry. Did you want me to keep going or you got something?
I think I got something. I may have already touched on it, but again, I won't even necessarily disagree with him. You know, if just like we are trying to conduct some kind of business, and you're trying to be Pan-African, and you're trying to conduct business with Black people in America, Black people on the continent, Black people in the Caribbean, of course, you would not want your business, your brand, your name, your reputation to be sullied with the vitriol, the visceral hatred that comes with the FBA label. So yeah, if you all of those who, that's why I said in another video, I want y'all to hurry up and delineate so we can always know who you idiots are. Excuse me for saying idiots. That's just me being too emotional. This idea that he's presenting, he's just trying to protect his potential for making business deals. Again, this is Oshay openly speculating. The brother ain't said nothing about having no deals. I've already done several shows where I've shown African Americans.
You still there, cuz, or did you just the FBA got you for saying African American, or was it me? Hold up, y'all.
The FBA demons are striking. The FBA demons are striking. All right, so we back. So I was saying I've done several shows where I'm talking about the African Americans who are doing business with Nigeria or Nigerians in general, Nigerian Americans, whatnot. Of course, you know, if that's what you are about, you don't want. Why would you sign up for FBA stuff? But again, what Oshay is doing is he's simply trying to circle that wagon to get you to think about using FBA, the title, for your own African Americanity. And that's why he's making this argument. It's a nonsense argument, but he's couching it all in trying to defend the FBA label and trying to convince you to use it.
Well, yeah. Now, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but again, this goes back to what we said earlier, what we talked about earlier. Again, my argument has been that it's a tricky thing. When he says FBA, he's trying to assert that FBA is all Black African American people. Exactly. That's the trick. He's trying to use it as if he is denouncing Black Americans wholesale. I mean, exactly. Who ancestry came through Africa, when he should denounce the small cult. He should, like I denounced the cult. But again,
in effect, that's what he's doing. That, like, Godfrey's commentary and his responses is in response to the FBA people who are like calling into the show and leaving messages in the chat. He's not responding to African Americans. He's responding to FBA people.
Absolutely. And so again, that's that tricknology. And that's why I keep saying, I'm like, y'all be like, well, come on now. Look, don't use that term. Don't, like, I know it's easy. Like, I know that you don't mean it. I know it doesn't mean the same. And you're using it differently, but this is warfare. And that's why when I see anybody who's Pan-Africanist, who claim to be Pan-Africanist, it really espoused it to better degrees. Like some of the Pan-African fence riders that I talked about before, they do espouse Pan-African ideas to some degree, somewhat, sometimes on the fence, sometimes half FBA. They like a little confused. But this guy, what's his name? Oshay Duke Jackson. Nah, bro. Nah, sis. Nah, yo. He ain't no Pan-Africanist. Now, he don't even make it to fence rider territory. The best he could be is an accomplice. You know, he's not a Pan-African. He's not. He's not. He's look, y'all talk about COINTELPRO. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not even one of those people. I'm just saying, yo, what's up with all these Pan-Africanists that don't espouse Pan-African talking points? Like when I saw that dude Brandon, I'm like, I'm still looking for his Pan-Africanist, his Pan-Africanism. I'm still looking for it. I don't see it. Other than him calling himself, what he called himself, the Pan-African, what again? Pan-African. I'm sorry, brother. If brother Pan-African Think Tank is still here, I'm about to say Pan-African Think Tank, but no. What the brother Brandon would call himself, the Pan-African Strikes Back.
Okay, yeah.
Pan-African Strikes Back. What? No Pan-African sensibilities. Not at all. And again, that is the trick. And again, if people can't see it, that's why we got to continue to argue. Even those people, I can be FBA and Pan-Africanism. If you say you can be FBA and a Pan-Africanist and an African-centered person, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Unc. I heard you said the other day taking a shot at me. Trying to at least.
Oh,
bro, you don't want the smoke. Look, you don't want the smoke for real. I'm just gonna be real honest with you. You don't want it. You know, we want a Baltimore showdown, huh? We don't want it. We don't want it, brother. We cool. Let's keep it like that. But for real, if you say that Unc know better, stop playing, Unc. We talked about this. you know that being FBA and Pan-African are like mixing oil and water. You know that they are the antithesis of one another. They don't meld, bro. And you told me that you agreed with the way I broke it down and how identities have ideologies and FBA having an ideology. So don't play now, play new. Can we be Pan-Africanists and FBA, Dr. Mayat? No. You can be out of confusion. Let me say that. Yes. You can be out of ignorance. Yes. You can be out of being a fence rider and want everybody to be your friends. Yes. But you can't be a conscious person who understands what Pan-Africanism is and what FBA is and still espouse both. You just can't do it. It's incompatible. What you say? Oh yeah, yeah. They tried to take some. They didn't mention the name. I think he got orders not to say my name. But look, sign up for my It got orders not to say my name, I guess. You know, but look, sign up for the member section. I did a whole video showing receipts on how phony that conversation is. I did a whole video on showing how phony the conversation is. This whole idea that he could have called me. Look, go and sign up for the membership section, and the receipts are there. And I only put what I put there is just the tip of the iceberg. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Because look, like I said, I won't even mention what I said, but you'll get more in the membership section. Because they playing games and they don't want to play those games. I'm just being real honest with you. Just know that I have information. If you want to jump out the window, jump out the window. But I have information that will quiet all of this and end everybody's Tariq Nasheed career.
Release it. Release the files.
It will release. It would end. But you know, it might not end them because they might all just be frauds together. He might know what's being sent to me. You never know. I don't look. You can't look. You hardly can't trust these folks. I don't know. Look, but I don't know. Let me stop. All right, let's go back into this video.
Godfrey goes back to Nigeria or deals with Nigerian Americans. It's a lot of financial opportunity with that community as well as the Nigerian Black British community. So it's more conducive to say, well, I think that foundational Black American issues are being called that is stupid because we are all Black and the white man all looks at us the same. But that's what we consider flat Blackness. And the problem with flat...
Who is we that consider that flat Blackness?
Nothing but the cult.
That's the cult. That is a FBA talking point. That is not a Pan-African talking point. That is an anti-Pan-African talking point and a lie on Pan-Africanism.
Blackness is to paint everything Black with a broad brush. And when you do that inadvertently, and in this situation, I believe it's intentionally, you almost deny the claims or the allegations that one group has over another. For an example, let's look at what's going on in South Africa right now. South Africa is complaining about these poor African migrants coming into South Africa and, number one, committing crimes. And many people are alleged to be Nigerians, bringing in drugs, taking over their convenience shops, doing kidnappings and all of this stuff. Now, when South Africans decide that we want these people out by any means, well, somebody like Godfrey takes the corporate Pan-Africanism approach, which is to, number one, demonize the victim, and the same thing you would get for Black Americans that wanted to delineate and keep their culture and not.
Again, like I told you, he's admitting they're victims.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I always tell you, they see themselves as victims. They say, we not victims. Why are you saying we victims? One of your leaders, your lieutenant, he just said, just like the victims in South Africa, the American draping themselves in the flag are also victims, and you want to blame the victims. I told you they victims. FBA are victims. They're not African Americans. I'm an African American, really African period. But if you want to know my history, it comes through the Middle Passage, what was called the Middle Passage, through the United States. I'm nobody's FBA. I am African American, an African in America, and then fools want to say, well, you can't call yourself African. Look at your passport. Okay. See, that's the type of idiotic stuff. We can't have conversations no more because I have to abide by a system that I'm in, and my political identity is African. Now you telling me, now I can't deal with you no more. When you talk, when you Pan-Africanism, and you up there saying, oh, it is right. You do, your passport do say African American, or your passport do say America. What that got to do with anything? What that got to do with anything? Like, just because I have to adhere to the rules, the organizing principles, and the way the things are constructed here in the United States don't mean I can't identify politically as an African. Come on, man. Y'all crazy, man. Look at this flag.
Wanting other people to take claim of the reparations. Well, then the way to counteract that is saying that who's paying you? You're a sellout. Are you an agent? Because we are all black. And when a person does that, you do not want to fix the issues. And there are going to be underlying issues that corporate Pan-Africanism or flat blackness cannot fix. And so the beefs get more. And that's really what a lot of Africans do, by the way. It is kind of customary.
And that's what a lot of Africans do, by the way.
Yeah, I want to.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, because I got something for that too.
Okay, you want me to keep playing, or you want me?
Yeah, play it, and then go ahead, play it.
Or even Nigerian Americans or other Ghanaian Americans, people like that, to sweep things underneath the rug. It's a very African way of doing things. When Black Americans' culture is to confront conflict, to tell it like it is, to get to the bottom of it. Or if you do not get to the bottom of it,
I'm sorry, man. Look, it's just too much. I'm gonna let you come and build, but look, man. These are FBA typical rules. This is FBA ideology. Tariq Nasheed 101. African immigrants flee and we fight and confront. We stay and fight and confront while y'all flee. That is what we fight, y'all flee. That is the craziest and the most idiotic and the most unreal type of talking point. And this guy here is repeating it, and he calls himself a Pan-African. What? What, like, it doesn't look, I didn't even look, I don't even have to look at any history books to know how false that is. If you have a scientifically organized mind, you just know that he can't support that. You can't support that, or at large. I mean, all you gotta do is do some deduction. But he probably don't know what deduction is. Somebody said I better respect him because he got an MD. Perhaps why he can't think socially is because that MD. He should have went and got a PhD. He needs to, if he got an MD, he need to go there and give people prescriptions and stay out of the social sciences because he's horrible.
The price to pay for that is complete separation. We're the only Black group that typically thinks like that. And if you're not going to listen to what I'm going to tell you, then it's going to be beef. Now it's on site. But the other Black groups, although they grow up around us, that's not necessarily their culture. For an example, and this is not a shot at Godfrey, but to have, let's say, a white lesbian person a part of the orchestration of the 154 podcast is already a red flag at best. Not because the person is all the way a lesbian or white. But the reality is that
all the way a lesbian. Look, what does that mean? Like, I keep telling you, people. Look, I'm gonna tell you one of the most powerful movements out here is the LGBTQ plus. People start to say weird things, and they say things to couch what they saying that doesn't even make sense. Not because she all the way a lesbian. What the heck? What? Look, he got scared. See, they like to punch down. They ain't messing with that rainbow community. You see him? He's not because she not always. Look, I gotta just back it up. Not because she. Make sure I heard it right. Not because she all the way a lesbian. What does that mean? What does that mean? You're scared, bro. You just beat up on Black people. You don't want no smoke with the LGBT plus community.
Best, not because the person is all the way lesbian or white. But the reality,
but, and this is an edited video, brother. Just take the all the way out. You didn't edit this video. This is what you put out. Come on, man.
reality is that if you're going to have something about black people, then that should not be a white person.
People go to look. I'm sorry. Somebody put here, and I'm sorry, cuz
go ahead.
Somebody put here. He claimed to gone to medical school in Poland, but never said he graduated. That's facts. And people, all these frauds do the same thing. They go out of the country and they supposed to get these degrees from these degree mills, and they got these, like, what's that guy? Something Richie. That all y'all still love him, but the guy with that looked like my Uncle James Earl. But they all Hey, you know what I'm talking about, cuz? Hey, he look like he a Winkler. I ain't gonna lie. He like he could be family. I ain't gonna lie. He look like
oh my god.
He look like everybody, man. He look like your daddy.
Yo, I mean, like, you just pulled that straight up out of my subconscious because I never thought about it, but the second you said it, I'm like, oh shit, the bomb been blown. He showed up.
And it's funny for you to say that because you told me when you find it hard to see people who got similarities. But look,
that's damn, that's wild as shit.
Richie Rich got 18 degrees and he working on a medical degree. He got a nuclear science degree. He's a lawyer. Look, I mean, it was funny. I'm telling you, I was at an event with Ben Crump, and Ben Crump said, "Man, I remember you ain't had no degree, man. Now I know you was a scientist. Now you're a lawyer, man. Man, I'm so proud of you, brother. I mean, look, when I met you, you had no degrees. I think Crump was playing him. I ain't gonna lie. I think Ben Crump was using that Southern charm. That's why you can't trust those people south of Virginia." And you probably can't trust them in Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia got some issues. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I'm messing with them. I'm messing with y'all. Look, but what I'm really saying is this: that Southern charm that Ben Crump got, I know that's way south of Virginia. That's like, that's like I don't know where I can hear it all in him because he's an educated man and he still got all of it. You know, because when you get a little education, you sound a little different than the people around you. He probably sound a little different, but he still sound like he's from the Bayou or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he's right. Look, no, let me stop messing with my Bayou folk because they sound a little different. I got but anyway, you want me to keep playing or stop?
Well, let me. I got a couple things on. I think I might touch on that lesbian thing too because I'm tripping because I'm like, you know, this whole I said this before, this whole flat blackness thing, it just bugs me out. And he always tries to make it sound real, you know, reasonable. And again, you know, this is how you point out, this is why he is not a Pan-Africanist and he shouldn't be using the label. Because again, Pan-Africanism never claimed that we're all the same. There's nothing in the annals of Pan-Africanism that says Nigerians and Jamaicans and Black Americans and Haitians and South Africans all are culturally identical, though we're all flat. We're all just one black thing. So to make that claim and to act like, but then at the same time to act like we don't have some similarities, to act like we don't have an overlapping historical similarity with the colonizer, the enslaver, and what racialized systems do to us wherever we live. But we all retain our distinct national, regional, and ethnic identities. It's never been a case, unless you're a baby brain. It's never been a case where it's confusing, unless all you do. I said this the other day. I was like, are we dealing with the crackhead generation that finally grew up? Because it's like, I remember way back in the day, people were saying with these crackhead babies, when they grow up, there's going to be some problems with mental capacities. I'm like, again, the false equivalence of trying to pay down our histories so that you can
English speaking
big up this divide, this identity division is part of the problem. Part of the problem with FBA, part of the problem with Oshay and his whole thing. And again, for anybody that's not sure, if you are truly on the fence, like my cousin says, you know, if you pick up some books, Du Bois's The World in Africa, Kwame Nkrumah's Africa Must Unite, George Padmore's Pan-Africanism or Communism, none of these texts, none of these foundational texts argue that ethnic identity dissolves, disappears, or is conflated under just because we have. They all point out that we have shared political aspirations for liberation, for freedom, for justice, equality, etc. But none of them say it. We all just converge into one black glob. So Oshay is just arguing against the idea, or he's strawmanning Pan-Africanism because his version of Pan-Africanism doesn't exist in reality. It only exists in his baby brain.
Yeah,
But,
I think they misunderstand stuff like this.
That's my brother. Like, I like this dude.
I think they misunderstand Brother Obi when he says stuff like this, right? Brother Obi, we've been been trying to connect here, but I'm since Brother Obi, he might be listening. Since he's supposed to be coming here to do something in a couple months, but I've been trying to get him on the show. But yeah, busy guy. But let me say this. Hold on. Okay, let me back up. But even in this, if you don't use your intellectual faculties, you just miss the whole point.
There's a quick poem we have. Can I do it?
Yes.
So this is the language poem. Africans here in the U.S. are English-speaking Africans. Africans in Trinidad are English-speaking Africans. Africans in Jamaica are English-speaking Africans. Just like Africans who live in Ghana, just like Africans who live in Kenya, just like Africans who live in Zimbabwe. English-speaking Africans are still Africans, no doubt about it. Africans in Haiti are French-speaking Africans. Africans in Martinique are French-speaking Africans. Just like Africans who live in Guinea, just like Africans who live in Algeria, just like Africans who live in the Congo.
Just like Africans who live in Congo. Just like Africans who live in the Congo.
French-speaking Africans are still Africans, no doubt about it. Africans in Cuba are Spanish-speaking Africans. Africans in Colombia are Spanish-speaking Africans. Africans in Venezuela are Spanish-speaking Africans, just like Africans who live in Equatorial Guinea. Spanish-speaking Africans are still Africans, no doubt about it. Africans in Brazil are Portuguese-speaking Africans, just like Africans who live in Angola, just like Africans who live in Mozambique, just like Africans who live in Guinea-Bissau. Portuguese-speaking Africans are still Africans, no doubt about it. We're all Africans, we're all Africans, we're all Africans. Learn to explain it, learn to celebrate it, learn to defend it. There's a quick poem we have. Can I do it?
All right, brother.
I shall. I like that. Yeah. I love that. I love that piece.
Yeah, I love it too. I just had to look it up really quickly, and even in that is showing you the connection and also a certain level of delineation. And what I mean by delineation, just to be clear, is that we know that in these different places we have evolved to be different, but we are still Africans nonetheless, is what he's saying. Right. And look, I don't care if you ask me about some passport. I'm sorry that you believe that I have to be bound to what a passport says because you don't have a level of political consciousness, you know. And again, that is why it's so important to understand social science, political science, all these different things. Like I'm telling you, and this is why Dr. Ball and others had this critique about certain types of education not being enough, because you believe that somehow I can't identify any different than the empire says I have to identify. See, to me, I don't have to. I understand that we are still struggling and people continuously struggle. In fact, people are still fighting. It's kind of like saying, well, you know what? I just take what they give me. In fact, that's why I say if you don't have an African-centered analysis, we're missing something, because that is very, very anti-African centered. Because African, and then I hear people around me and they up there bigging it up. Yeah, that's right. And then you saying you're African centered, but you're actually telling me because I have an ID that says Baltimore that I'm not African. You know, like what do you think? People have struggled. In fact, it's so ridiculous because and even in FBA talking points in some of these misinformed quote unquote Pan-Africanists or Pan-African fence riders or adjacent or fake half Afrocentrists, they're not really steeped in what they know or what they say they know. They on these YouTube platforms teaching you, but they really suck in social aspects, in social science, in political science, because just the other day, people have fought to get married. So what if we accepted all these different things? You fought to vote. What if you accepted that? Am I supposed to not have political identity until they say it's okay? Am I not supposed to recognize our own traditions and holidays unless they say it's a real thing? Does the United States of America have to authorize a thing before I recognize it? No. But you walk around with Kemetic names. You walk around with, and then you're very anti-African, but you talk about African science and all this type of thing, but you're lost because you don't understand political struggle. I'm telling you, there's some confused people out here. And I'm telling you, there's so many people, I'm telling you, that are on these airways. I tell you, I don't even have to show you my receipts because they got so much bad information on their channels. These Pan-African fence riders got so much bad information on their channels, I could bury them with their own information, if you want to call it information. Because you're apolitical and you've bought into the system. You think nobody can't see you. Or matter of fact, you say you have, and many times. Well, in fact, I've heard, we don't have any struggle to fight for. It's just black people problem. Y'all crazy. Y'all don't understand. You are apolitical in your analysis. I see why people are upset at you. Oh, all we need is STEM. Shut up. and we repeat it. You ain't gonna do nothing with STEM, anything different, if you a Negro than any other person would do with it. But support the empire. And then you want to fight for this American flag. What's the guy, the real Dana? America. Look, you got to understand when people from other spaces, for the most part, they draped in their flag and they proud of their flag in the Caribbean and these different islands, whether, and we there's critique there. But the reality is this star-spangled banner that we're under, this is not an independent black country. We are still under a colonized land. We are here, whether or not you want to say you were indigenous or autochthonous or autochthonous or whatever you say you are. You got to keep in mind, you see, you lack social scientific accuracy. You're not able to really juxtapose things because you conflate things, misappropriate things, and you unfairly assess things next to each other. You cannot compare the United States, although there's people from the Caribbean that want to come here because this is empire. Sometimes people think it's the land of milk and honey until they get here. And when they get here, sometimes they still think it is because they're still blind. I'm not saying there's no benefits here. I'm not saying that there's no quote unquote what people call privileges here. I'm not saying none of that. But see, I can hold complexity and know that there can be benefit or seeming benefits and also be many contradictions and people will even oppress you, and you are oppressed with what you think are benefits. See, again, you're not ready because you have bought into the lie, the land of milk and honey. You're bought into the American dream. No shot at my dear brother, American dream guy. But yes, a shot at you too, American dream guy. But you've bought into it. You should. Somebody needs to check you. When you call yourself a Pan-African and you still call yourself FBA, when you call yourself a Pan-African or African-centric even more, and you buy into these, oh, well, IDs do say African-American. Oh, I'm a freedman. Oh, look, these are, man, come on, man. Stop that, man. Y'all crazy. Y'all out of your mind. You don't deserve to be a teacher. Because we all get things wrong, but come on, man, that's too much fence straddling. Oshay Duke Jackson ain't straddling no fence. He just off the goddamn fence. He just pointing at the fence and saying, I'm over there, but he over there. Some people straddling the fence because they confused laws and trying to get milk the out of different pots. Oshay ain't even touched the goddamn fence. Oshay just been pointing at the fence. Say, look over there, that's me. And he been 100 yards away the whole time. See, people, look, we got to stop letting people play in our faces. Y'all got to vet y'all teachers. I was over there on the platform over there. Oh, we understand what you're doing, such and such. We understand what you're doing. Y'all don't know what they doing. You think you know what they doing. They playing you. That's what they doing because we like celebrities. We like people we saw hoodwinked and I mean, not hoodwinked, buck breaked and all that. We get caught up with, we be African-centered and we still be amused by the people that Tariq Nasheed bring on these pseudo-documentaries. Call them pseudo-documentaries, but then at the same time, man, we know that what Tariq brought us has been a bunch of crap. I'm sorry. So, cuz,
yeah, what's good?
You want me to push play in it, or you want to you still got something?
I'm getting tired here. You can push play and end it, or I can rock on for a little bit more, but you know, we can come back and cover it later. It's, you know,
we only got a minute and something left. We ain't coming back for that. We can
in the process of that, I can see if it was the white person that was, let's say, for example, the camera guy, or maybe the person that was doing the sound or the mics, but this person is actively involved in that, which makes somebody believe, well, damn, what else are you guys trying to do? That also seems very interesting, especially which Godfrey understands.
He was taking up for Tariq Nasheed, by the way. I could see if it was a camera guy and this and that and other. You know, Tariq Nasheed has a whole crew of white European around him, and they probably a little bit more involved than what he's offering up here.
What pro-black intellectuals teach about white people being involved in black business, but yet he understands the concepts of the language, and he rejects the fundamental underlying teachings of what we teach about white people and, you know, being suspicious of them and all that other stuff, which is why if things come out offensive in the show, that could be why, because the person that's making the cue cards could be looking at it from another perspective in which that's going to offend someone. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshay.
Man, Oshay is crazy, bro. His conceptualizations are horrible. What you got on the way out this door? I ain't never seen you get tired before me.
yeah. Let me say this, because that was one of the things I really wanted to drop down on here. So, you know, he says, what did he say? He says Godfrey is rejecting or going against what pro-black intellectuals teach about white people being involved in black business. Now I'm like, okay, hold on, bro. You go back, you look through again. Tell me who is the pro-black, who is the Pan-African teacher, who's the author of the tradition that says black people should not be doing any kind of business ventures with white people. Now, anybody that know me, you might know, you know, I got some strong opinions about the Mayo Mafia. But tell me what tradition cautions us against going into business, going into starting up a business venture. Now, I will concede that there's a lot of teaching about white control over black affairs. Now, I mean affairs.
political organizations, community institutions, schools, the basic infrastructure of Black political and social power, Black political sciences, and so on. Yeah, there's something there, but that's not about the financial, economic, capitalistic ventures of just earning a buck. If that was the case, then pro-Black Pan-African thought would tell you you can't work for nobody that's white. That's a completely different thing. So there's no Pan-Africanism that says don't go into business ventures with a white person. Business is capitalism. Business is transactions to make money, to earn a buck, to sustain a living. Now, Black political affairs, Black social affairs, that's where our control is needed for our infrastructure and our ability to protect ourselves. There's something there, but I can't recall a single pro-Black intellectual on record saying Black people shouldn't do business, commerce, and trade with white people, especially as a Black as a blanket rule. Now, again, I may personally be like, I'll never go into business with a white person. But that's not Pan-Africanism. That's not even me as a Pan-Africanist. That's just a personal decision. So so I don't know what, again, if I give him the grace and space that he got a mind, I don't know how he's so far out of it. Substituting business affairs, substituting business for political affairs lets him borrow the moral weight of what he calls a real pro-Black intellectual tradition, but he's bankrupting it at the same time. And all right, I'm appalled. Well, I was gonna say something else about, again, just the idea, the notion, like, so you tell me this, you trying to tell me that if a white person comes to Oshay Duke Jackson with some revolutionary idea for internet business, he gonna turn it down because he Pan-African and he only in it for the foundational Black American spirit of it all. Now, Godfrey's own words are that CJ and Heather, the white lesbian, that they are the ones that came to him with the concept of 154. He doesn't say that they run it. He doesn't say that they own it. He doesn't say that they have editorial control. They came to him with the idea. Coming to someone with the idea and holding executive authority over the show, that's two entirely different things. Again, now I'm not saying that I know who is in control, but he's making the assumption that they're in control because they came to him with the idea. He never establishes that as a prima facie case.
Man, FBA is suffer with a collective borderline personality disorder. They fragile.
Whoa.
And Oshay, I think, is just a fraud. He not that fragile. He's just a fraud. He's more like his is more like he's part. let me say how I normally say it. FBA is a cluster B-ish type of cult, and some of them are more on the spectrum of narcissism, and others more on the spectrum of borderline personality. And what do I mean by collective borderline personality? Is that all they do? They wait for people to say things that upsets them, that they read as being overly critical. They are the people who struggle with borderline personality disorder. Everybody's doing something to them. They're I'm sorry to say it, my folks. I'm sorry. It's just, they're emotionally dysregulated. It's always somebody else. And they have you walking around like you're on eggshells. Then they call you a narcissist, but they are actually cluster B-ish. And the reality is you're not going to ever be able to please them, because anything that goes on with them, they take no responsibility. FBA is borderline personality like in a collective sense. And what do I mean by that again? they have you walk. They gonna have this 154 podcast. They gonna have those African brothers and sisters on there walking on eggshells. And Godfrey, I can tell you, like, hell no, we ain't doing that up in here. Oh no, we ain't doing that. And that's what he needs to do. And he needs to separate, because he has to be. I'm certain I haven't looked. I'll watch, but my assumption is he would need. Well, I'm going to just say he needs to separate. Although it's not going to really do a thing, because they're going to. If he says I'm talking about somebody different, I'm talking about these group of FBA people. They're going to still say, "Oh, that's disrespect. You're not accepting that the way that we want to identify all five of us." All five of us that now wants to superimpose this identity on all Black American people whose ancestry came through the United States through chattel slavery, or the indigenous and the indigenous ones as well. Like, it's crazy. Like, let me tell you how crazy FBA is. First and foremost, they're even saying that, I mean, I don't know. They're even saying those who didn't go through chattel slavery. That because a lot of them are now saying, well, we were here. We were here out. We never were enslaved. And that's a false story. So I'm trying to figure out, what is your reparations for then? What's your reparations fight? I heard somebody say it so clear. If you are indigenous, you need to go and take your fight up for different people. You know what I mean? Like, what are you fighting about? This is about chattel enslavement. And half of y'all say, well, the story is exaggerated. Only 800 people came in through the Middle Passage. I mean, y'all got some of the craziest stuff, man. Yes,
that's that Dane Calloway shit.
Victims. F that man. What that mean? What you saying? F that man got Bawana for? Perpetual victims. This is what I always say. They are pedestalized victims. This is what I always say. They have collective borderline personality disorder, because all it needs is to have an African brother or sister wink the wrong way. Oh, see, you're winking, not like the FBA. Like this, even this whole lie about the Essence Festival. I talked to people again as I started the show off earlier today who told me they were at the Essence Festival who don't deal with none of this stuff. I said, was it really African orientation and culture? They're like, no, it was very African American in culture, and they had hints of African culture around it. And they got people in my own family like, look, they sharing this video. I'm like, you sharing this video? I said, you don't know what. See, some of these videos that FBA put out, they seem harmless. And I'm not so sure about this guy who bought, maybe probably the proper perspective knows about it, because I know he'd be researching stuff. The guy who supposedly brought Essence Festival, what have you, and how he's making it all African, and they started tying him back to Africa, and he was some royalty there, and so on and so forth, and all this type of thing. But when I asked the regular Black person, was the Essence Festival about overly African culture? They said no, they didn't even hardly see any African cultural type of things going on there. It was really, quote unquote, us. Go ahead, Brother Prep.
No, you right. I did, because I tried to cover some of that last year, and I've been doing some research to cover it again this year, because they just had it over the July 4th weekend. But all of the reports that I did look at initially again showed that now last year, not that I was not in agreement with the FBA gripes on the Essence Fest last year, but there were definitely some problems with the company, their operation, and their management of the event. I've never been a person that would have even gone to the Essence Fest. So even the things that I heard FBA complaining about, I was like, well, damn, I wish I would have went. I would have appreciated that. Like, they were complaining that there was a jollof rice cooking contest. And I'm like, of all the things to be mad about, like, but even with that, they heard the criticisms, and in this year they tried to adjust and address like most of the criticisms, even if they were like, you know, silly criticisms. And so this year they tried to make sure that it was more visually
recognizable that they were bringing in both. Like there were people who said it felt like they just replaced us with a whole lot of continental African stuff. And so, but even with that, they were saying, no, okay, maybe the way we located people made it seem like that, but like we got it all lined up. Everybody is in the house at the same time. So they did some things with like presentations and who gets to stand here, there, and the other. But there were more complaints about the entertainment last year than this than the FBA narrative. FBA wanted to make it seem like everything that was bad about Essence Fest was because they were bringing in some African stuff. Most of the people that showed up were complaining that the artists weren't on time and the mics, the mics weren't working and things of that nature. So that's not the diaspora war at all. Now this year they said they made sure that they made sure they had the sound systems correct. They scaled down on like the number of artists, because they what they said last year was one of the reasons it was so crazy is they went overboard. They had way too many artists than they should have had. And yes, some were African-American music genre artists and some were continental African genre artists. They scaled back and was just like, let's just do like soul music and just leave it at that. And so that cut down on a lot of stuff.
Peace to Brother Kerry. I don't think I saw him here earlier. Did he just come in? Peace to
He
Brother
been here
Kerry.
for a minute.
He has been okay. Well, peace to him. I don't think I spoke to him yet.
All right. But yeah, even and I'm forgetting his name right now, but he is of Liberian descent. But even the criticisms that they are leveling at him, I've been looking at them and trying to research them and whatnot. And for the most part, they still always come up to be just empty-headed nonsense. Wide speculation. He had a contest where he was given like a certain amount of money to like whoever had the best business plan or pitch or whatever. The winners were African Americans, but they were saying, see, he gonna take all this money and send it back to Nigeria. I'm like, he's from Liberia.
Oh God, stop playing. You crazy.
So again, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of it because it's like, yeah, like you said, FBA, they just sit and wait and they everything but the kitchen sink and they grab at everything. That's why even Mr. K says, here's your litmus test. What have y'all built? All this yakking. What have you built? The only FBA person that's built anything is Tariq Nasheed, and that daggone museum is piss poor.
That's why I always say, don't use the term FBA as a moniker because it's easy. Because what they try to do, and they do it really well, because some people are tricked by it. They'll say, oh, FBA built Tariq Nasheed the best. Oh, FBA built all types of stuff, family. We built this country. Family, what we did, family, so they will claim every positive thing that a Black American whose ancestry came through here in this country, and they also take. It's so crazy. Sometimes they will include someone who, like a Malcolm X, and other times they won't,
and then they kick him out.
Yeah, or they'll if it works for them, they'll include the person. Then that person, but another person they'll just kick them out. They kick out all other quote unquote half FBAs. Then they'll accept Malcolm X sometimes. I mean, literally, I'm telling you, I was on a sister show, and she literally was. I mean, it got to the point like. The question, or maybe it wasn't her show, but maybe it was somebody else's show. But on that show where we actually have to go through who in this country, what their lineage actually is. And so now I have to go back through and pick through if Malcolm X and every other person who we lift up in this country during Black History Month, what their family lineage is. I mean, I hear them calling out Roland Martin because he got a great something Haitian grandfather back 7,000 generations. Like it's like one grandfather. You know what I mean? Like it's so crazy, bro.
It is, and it's really, and again, it's they pulling that whole playbook from white supremacists. And I'll say like, and I mean like the hardcore, the Ku Klux Klan type white supremacists, they've always had this thing where like when white folks try to join the Klan, they got to present genealogy. And white folk go through and be like, okay, well, who was your great great granddaddy? Who was your great great grandmother? Because white folk want to make sure they not gonna let any non-Aryan type of Anglo-Saxon in there. And that's what this whole foundational Black American genealogy trick is. They literally like, you go back, if you're telling me that I'm not supposed to side with and align with somebody who's talking the same type of stuff that I'm talking because their great great grandfather came here from Haiti or Jamaica, but the rest of their whole tree was on the plantation fields. You done lost your damn mind. I'm sorry. You're just out of it. Now, let me say this. Now, as much as I, critique FBA, as much as I critique even the Pretendians, I don't want to like miss an opportunity to critique Yvette Carnell and ADOS. And here's for one particular reason. What I say about FBA is they're always trying to get us they're always trying to convince us to use this term for all of us, this FBA label for all of us. And I would say, look, no credible national survey has ever been established that would suggest that the Black community wants a new name, that would suggest the Black community likes this new name. So there's no consensus on self-identification for African Americans. Most Black Americans, the ones who aren't even Pan-Africanists, have still never adopted this term, and we shouldn't. But if you pay careful attention to ADOS and Yvette Carnell, they are trying to get it pushed into the government documentation. They're trying to get it where on the next census, when you go and you check and you do a checkoff for your self-identification on the census form, you can put FBA or ADOS, or if they lose that fight, then they're trying to have a write-in label, and then they're going to be pushing and promoting that everybody choose one of the two terms. So like they'll be telling all of their FBA cult members, okay, since we didn't fully get what we wanted, they won't call us that on the paperwork, but they did say that you can write in how you self-identify. So everybody put FBA or everybody put ADOS, and then we'll get it in that way. And so I just want to throw that out there. That's like just one more level of the battlefield.
Yeah. Peace to brother Q Butter in the building. So family, Pan-African first, thanks for joining. I see you be coming here strong. Dr. The Juma Boutique, they want Dr. Greg Carr to adopt it. Oh man, I was in a meeting with Dr. Greg Carr some years ago in Cobra. They had a meeting at Howard University, and we had put down how ADOS at that time was really divisive. And Dr. Greg Carr definitely from that time, he knows all about ADOS. I remember it was crazy because I think, what's really crazy? I could be incorrect in this, but Omar Wali Africa was at that meeting. I think so. But I also think I could be wrong. That brother, what's his name, who got the channel? He was in that meeting in Cobra talk. What's his name? Street Media TV, who be that Tahaka Bay shows how this brother, what's his name? What's his name, y'all? He comes on every now and again. He's in Philly. I can't think of the brother's name. He's always been trying to make a platform for himself. But he's finally found his little niche. And in FBA, because I think Ados kicked them out. George Macon is his name. They kicked him out, but I saw him at an N-Cobra meeting, I believe, if I'm not wrong. But he has been at N-Cobra meetings. He's always been in and out, trying to find his way. In fact, Tahaka has video where he talks about his own immigrant heritage. Now he's coming back and acting like he doesn't have it. In fact, I think I saw the clip where Yvette was like, nah, you're not pure enough to be a part of this. Just like you saying, you dropped this whole idea about how the KKK says, look, no, we're going to give you a purity test. And just like that purity test that Tariq Nasheed has on his website, look, I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, I get it. And they're going to try hard, just like you said, cuz they're going to try hard to get it on some governmental document, because at that point, that thing, what people are taking lightly, will disrupt in a way, and it will affirm in many people's minds this quote unquote delineation, not just a delineation and, oh, we just have a different name, but the entire the ideology will become more pervasive. You know, it's not, look, I know we don't believe it, but ideology is tied to identity. And if this United States of America actually adopts that label, I'm not saying don't adopt a different label, but if they adopt ADOS or FBA, boy, we got a fight ahead of us. Cuz I'm gonna let you close us out, man. I think we're gonna get up out of here, as you said. I appreciate, you know, all that you brought, you know, and the clarity and all that type of thing. What you got for the road, brother?
Thank you. I appreciate that. These are always very spirited. I love these back and forths that we have. Everybody, please make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe buttons on both our channels. Mine is at The Proper Perspective, and my cousin's is Dr. Dennis Ausar Winkler. To close it out, I'll say, whether you agree with Godfrey, whether you disagree with Godfrey, if you don't care about Godfrey, your standards shouldn't be so willy-nilly. Your standards shouldn't move. I said this earlier, like, I really do wish that the FBA crowd and the whole anything but African universe, I wish they would just finally delineate. I think they need to pick a uniform. They need to pick a hat. They need to pick a symbol that they can all buy amongst themselves and wear, so we can always know who they are. Just like, you know, you can tell who the Amish is. You can tell technically, sort of, maybe a little bit. You can tell who a Muslim is. You can recognize a whole lot of Christians because they got that cross. Those these FBA people, if they're not gonna go away, they need to find a funny little hat that they can be proud of and wear. We can always point them out and say, go the other way. That's all I got.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, that funny little hat, so they can go their way. You know what I mean? And you know,
because the thing that really concerns me is, and I sort of get this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you good.
What gets me, what puts me into that frame of mind is, especially when I go to TikTok, and I've heard so many people already accepting that FBA label. People, especially people in the quote unquote immigrant community, like, I'll get on TikTok and there's all of these conversations being had the same way we're having them, and they're battling and fighting and arguing and debating and whatnot. But what a lot of the so-called quote immigrant brothers and sisters what they come away from is like, look, if you say that you FBA, okay, I'm gonna respect that, and I'm just gonna, you know, and I'm like, nah, don't respect that. Don't respect that. That's why they need their own little group, their own little hat and uniform, because that's them and that's not us.
That's the borderline trick, bro. Where it makes it, what it does is they weaponize their victimhood against you. So what it does, the quote unquote black immigrant brothers and sisters, like, I want to respect you. I don't want you to think that I'm not listening to you. And just because they've heard other black brothers and sisters from their different homelands say things, so now they're allowing that to be exacerbated in their minds. Like, they're right. People do say stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be like them. Let me, you know, it's this whole bleeding heart liberalism that comes out. My brother, you know, look, you're FBA, and then they start using this FBA word, and you're right. A lot of brothers and sisters who are immigrants, or they live in other places, even not just immigrants, just black people on the continent, black people in the Caribbean, UK. They start using this word out of respect, but they're being played. They're being played, and so this word begins to spin around, and catch form. So you know, we that's why I keep putting FBA cult, whatever. You look, you know, whatever you gotta do, you gotta put it in a way where it's such a dirty word that when people start to look it up and think about it, like, nah, this is not really a word that we want to use. We don't want this to represent us. And ADOS, like I told y'all, and you just made a good point. I told people, don't think ADOS don't have no traction because Tariq Nasheed is a good distraction for ADOS.
Yes.
ADOS is still moving. ADOS even looks respectable because of Tariq Nasheed right now. FBA is so bad, people would, you know, that's how people stay in traumatic relationships. They will go from one traumatic relationship to another, and then they'll find out that this one is worse. So they'll forgive this one that they just left because they not as bad. And in fact, that's how we are in America. I know y'all like this electoral swing, this little swing. And y'all, you know, but at the end of the day, it's all abusive. FBA is abusive. ADOS is abusive. The Pretendians are just out of their goddamn minds. You know, they look, they like God level narcissistic cult leader abusive. You know, they're like the highest level of abuse. ADOS is like, you know, they're verbally abusive, but FBA they'll punch you, and then the Pretendians, they a whole nother level of cult like abusive. But anyway, that borderline personality disorder, that collective borderline personality disorder that ADOS have will have you feeling sorry for them, and that's what people do. Even narcissists, that collective narcissism, they will have you feeling sorry for them while they playing you the whole entire time. Family, family. I appreciate you all for joining us today. Me and my cousin, we won't get up out of here. Both my voice is cracking. It was cracking probably before I got started. You know what I mean? But we will see you soon. Really appreciate you all. Please hype up the video, like up the video, subscribe to At the Proper Perspective. Subscribe to at Dr. Dennis Ausar Winkler. Doctor's Dr. Dennis Ausar Winkler. Subscribe, hype up the videos so we can get an algorithm. It is a war, family. I know y'all, a lot of times we don't believe so, but wars are fought in all battlefields. And ADOS, FBA, and the Pretendians are on the battlefield of social media, but really on the battlefields of our mind. So, family, the battlefield of our minds. Until next time, as Dr. Amos Wilson says,
when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
Generalized black woman is doing this and being this. That is that is irresponsible.
No, when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
Showing me, you know,
black and proud. Claim you're Africanist, black and proud.
I think that
as
a person who has a page,
what is the status of people with half FBA?
When you claim you're African, you're going to get your mind back.
That's why I was laughing, because I am
claim you're African.
I'm not saying the framework doesn't do a thing, but
become a part of it.
We've been
forward to black men
become a part of
it. Being in control. We
become a part of it.
Only
embrace it.
That those to me one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Embrace it. When you claim you're African, you're going to get your mind back.
Mental growth takes place. You've been misled by leadership, for instance, that think you can consume.
When you claim you're African, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.